helping heroes at the Warrior Alliance. This clean, award-winning line of spirits are guaranteed to exceed expectations. Whether you're hosting a game or give it a gift, do something special. Order at 13heroes.com.
Hey, listen, are you a 50-year-old person looking for term life insurance? Then you need to talk to Bob. Bob specializes in helping people find $1 million or more of term life insurance for a couple of $100 a month. Look, you need to know there's a price war in the term life insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call Bob, and he'll shop and see how much money he can save you. Look, this could be the last term life insurance policy you ever have. Your rates are guaranteed for the next 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rates for the next 20 years. And if you're a smoker or your health is not perfect, Bob has great rates for you too. So for $1 million of term life insurance coverage for a couple of $100 a month, call Bob right now. 800-890-5049. 800-890-5049. 800-890-5049. That's 800-890-5049. Paid for by Term Direct.
Let's talk about the X's and O's of family entertainment. Every parent in Alabama knows the importance of being able to draw up an activity that'll get you out of the house for a couple of hours. But it needs to be affordable. It needs to be family-friendly. Above all, it needs to be fun. Now, let's talk about high school sports. Bang for your buck, school sports provide the perfect game plan for your family. You'll enjoy all of the drama and excitement competitive sports offer. You'll be supporting the future leaders of our community in a meaningful way. Best of all, you can take the entire family without breaking the bank. Heck, you won't even dent it. Now, enough chalk talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your community. School sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you scheduled your wedding and even your child's birth around your school's game? Of course. But it means more than that. It means you're home to hundreds of Fulbright, Truman, Goldwater, and Rhodes Scholars. It means starting out as the birthplace of American public higher education and now leading the way in unmanned spacecraft. This is the SEC. And here, it just means more. What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That there's an honest-to-goodness chandelier in your tailgate tent? Perhaps, but it means more than that. It means pioneering medical solutions to predict new flu viruses. It means leading globally diverse teams to eliminate starvation in developing countries. And it means being home to one of the nation's top cybersecurity programs. This is the SEC. And here, it just means more.
This hour of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by Talent Heating and Air. When you need service, rely on Talent. From system installations to tune-ups, rely on Talent. Online at talenthvac.com.
AL cert number 21014. As we flip the calendar to 2026, the holiday season may have left you a little short in the bank account, but Talon Heating and Air will not leave you out in the cold.
That's right. We're still offering free second opinions and service calls with repairs. In addition to that, we're offering up to $1,600 in TVA rebates.
Very easy to do. If you need that $1,600 rebate, all you got to do is
give us a call at 256-503-4490.
Talon Heating and Air, they're live, they're local, and you can find them online at
talenthvac.com.
Who doesn't need to save
$1,600?
Very easy to do. Again, Talent Heating and Air, the number and the web.
That's 256-503-4490 or talenthvac.com.
It's Talent Heating and Air. They're live, they're local. Give them a call today.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Just like that, we're back. We're live. It's Tuesday. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. Welcome in on a Tuesday morning. Welcome in. We're back. Good to be back. A little chilly out there right now. 15 degrees. Your high today is 38. That's the good news. High today is 38. 15 degrees right now, so safe travels into work, into school, wherever you may be headed. Feels like 12 degrees outside. You know what that means? Means you might need to give Talent Heating and Air a call. 256-503-4490. TalentHVAC.com. They've got tune-up specials. We're beyond tune-ups right now. You just may need a whole new system because of the cold. Talent Heating and Air can help you out. They got deals. They can give you rebates. They can give you rebates up to $1,600. Thomas, Terry, Jeremy, give them a call, 256-503-4490. They've got plenty of talent to do some work for you. It's Talent Heating and Air, TalentHVAC.com. Look, the cold isn't going anywhere. We're going to be stuck in this little cold system for a while. I mean, your lows on Saturday is going to be around 10 degrees. So that heating unit going to be putting out a lot of heat, maybe a little stress. So give Talent Heating and Air a call right now. Hey, a lot to get through since we were not at it yesterday. A lot of stuff to get through. Thank goodness they give us 3 hours. We're going to try to get through it all. We do have college basketball tonight, by the way, coming over the airways of 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. 23rd ranked Alabama going to welcome Missouri tonight to Coleman Coliseum. The Tide, a 10.5-point favorite at home. We'll break down that one a little bit. Your other SEC games tonight, 15th ranked Arkansas taking on Oklahoma. 18th ranked Vanderbilt going to welcome Kentucky. We'll touch on those. We've got a lot of college basketball that we did not get to react to from over the weekend. Of course, the Super Bowl is all set. We'll touch on that a little bit. The AFC, NFC championship games. Of course, when we left you on Friday, locally, one of the biggest conversations going on, and it really was big because there's still a lot of coaches in every sport with the Alabama High School Athletic Association reacting to the news that happened shortly right after our show, well, actually during our show. And that was the public-private split. We'll delve into that a little bit more this morning because there is a lot to get through with that there. I mean, a lot to get through. Ben Thomas will join us in the third hour from AL.com as we'll delve into that. Richard Hendrix going to join us at 8 o'clock as we get to talking some SEC basketball, Alabama basketball, and the whole Charles Bediako situation. Bryan Mathews will join us in the third hour. Auburn goes on the road and does something they have not done since the 90s in Gainesville. So we'll fill you in on that. But again, coming up tonight inside Coleman Coliseum, 23rd ranked Alabama taking on Missouri. And Nate Oates first. First, we start with just the home schedule. Alabama looking to rebound from their loss to Tennessee at home on Saturday. Nate Oates was asked about, I guess you could call it home struggles yesterday.
Yeah, we've lost 3 already. Is that correct? Purdue and then the 2 in conference. Yeah, it's not good. I mean, we home, road, whatever it is, losses aren't fun, and our crowd's been great. We've got, our first year here, we obviously didn't have the home crowd that we've got now. I mean, it's sold out pretty much every game. It's not like for a lack of fan support that we're not playing well at home. I think our fans have been great. Student section's packed. We got to play better. We got to lock into defensive end. We're not consistent with our defensive focus and effort. Offensively, we've gone through too many dry spells. I mean, you go back and watch the end of that last game against Tennessee, 77-70, and they didn't score a point for, I think it was maybe 4:11 to go in the game. They didn't score until we had to intentionally foul them with like 19 seconds to go in the game. So our defense, after having some bad spells, particularly the beginning of the second half and so some other parts of the second half, our defense held up for the last 4 minutes. Our offense couldn't score a bucket. So, we've got to do a better job making sure we get a great shot on every possession on offense, and defensively, use the crowd's momentum, use the energy from them to, really get you to lock in, because our crowd's a smart crowd too. They know when we need to stop. They get loud. They've been good, and we just haven't given them the results that they'd like to see in a home game, and we got to do better at home.
Alabama head coach Nate Oates on playing better at home. Drew, they got to play better at home. Yeah, gonna have to play better at home, right, bud?
Yeah, no doubt. They're gonna have to play better. If they had made free throws and rebounded the ball, they would have beaten. They would have beaten Tennessee on Saturday. That it was on them. Certainly, if they'd had Amari Allen and Biz, aka Aiden Holloway, I think they win the game. But again, they haven't had their whole team available for the majority of the season, so they didn't get the job done. They haven't rebounded well all year. Bediako, for a guy, I mean, he's a pro, I guess. So as they keep saying, the national media wants to keep harping like Alabama's broken every NCAA rule in the book. But like we said, I mean, Bediako actually, I thought, for a guy that hadn't been playing with his teammates at all, thought he played well. I thought he gave them quite a bit. They didn't get enough out of Aiden Sherrill. Sherrill did not have a good game. Most of that was due to foul trouble. He had 4 fouls early in the second half, and so they couldn't really get him on the floor very much. And then they had the wrong guys taking the wrong shots. I mean, Taylor Bowen, I'll give the guy credit. He has courage. He will take a shot and miss it. And he missed several wide open shots that could have made a huge difference. But the biggest thing is just the little things. They did not rebound at all. They couldn't get stops the second half. And then, they missed 5, 6, 7 free throws, and go back and look, and it's a 6-point game. And so and then of course they couldn't guard Nate Ament. I mean, he just basically shot over them the whole game. But they just didn't play well enough to win, and they need to get all their pieces on the floor. I think they're going to have Aiden back tonight, but Amari Allen sounds like he's very doubtful. They both got hurt against Oklahoma. Always had the recurring wrist injury, and then of course with Amari Allen, it's more like hip pointer. I think it's basically been building for a while now, and he just finally, I guess, injured it enough against Oklahoma where he couldn't get loose and feel good about playing, and that was a big loss because he does so much for Alabama. He's their third leading scorer, but he's the best rebounder on the team, and especially a guy that can get tough rebounds. They don't have a lot of guys that are doing that right now. They need Bediako to do that going forward, and I guess from the news that came out yesterday, this weather certainly has affected a lot of people. It affected the NCAA's lawyer from being able to come over from the state of Tennessee. And so now that restraining order has been, I guess, extended another 10 days, which ensures Charles Bediako will play tonight and will play against Florida, and then will play against Bucky McMillan on February 4th. So Alabama gets a reprieve there, gets him for at least 3 more games. We'll see if they get him for the rest of the season. Personally, I hope they do. I think that's what they deserve, but who knows? I mean, this whole thing has been kind of surreal and bizarre, and so we will see what happens going forward, Scott. But again, Alabama basketball, really with this team all year, they've been up and down because, as Nate Oates just talked about, the defensive effort, and then the rebounding has just been not what it needs to be, and that's a big reason why they added Charles Bediako to the roster.
All right, so the NCAA, because of the weather, cannot get to Tuscaloosa. So that means Charles Bediako's the restraining order that the judge, which, by the way, the NCAA has asked the judge in this case to recuse himself because of his ties to the Alabama athletic program itself, for being a donor. The NCAA has asked him to reprieve himself from the case. So we're awaiting word on that. Because of the weather delay, the restraining order against the NCAA has been extended for 10 days. Yesterday, during his press conference, Nate Oates was asked about whether or not this is a good thing to be playing Bediako, if it's the right thing. And here was Coach's response.
Yeah, 100%. Everywhere I've been, and going back to my high school days, I'm going to do right by my players in every single situation as long as they didn't do anything wrong. Charles has done nothing wrong. Charles and his agent and his attorneys have seen what's gone on in the landscape of college basketball and all the former pros that are playing. Just about everybody we play's got one. And they've seen who the NCAA is allowed to be eligible, and they didn't see any reason why Charles won't be eligible. And I agree with them. So, yeah, I no matter what all the talking heads saying, I really don't really pay attention to it. I'm trying to focus on our team winning. But, yeah, when they came to me and they wanted to get him eligible, and I agreed with their reasoning, the whole thing, I will stand by our guys every single time, no matter what the outside says, when they've done nothing wrong. And Charles has done everything right. He's eligible to play, and he's going to continue to play as long as he's eligible to play.
Nate Oates' message yesterday there. I tell you what, 7:13, let's get a break in. When we come back, we'll break down what he had to say and more. It's our Tuesday edition of Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
It's Larry Shelby, previously on the Paul Feinbaum Show.
Chris Lowe, it has been a bleak fortnight in Alabama.
They made progress, but I think the fact that they lost 2 of their last 3 games, money games that everybody remembers, is something that's not going to sit well.
The Paul Feinbaum Show, weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and on the SEC Network.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at the service department at Woody Anderson Ford. When you need service on your vehicle, whether it's a Ford or any other make, you want to get into Woody Anderson Ford, where their expert service technicians will get it diagnosed and repaired right away, the right way. And while you are there, check out all the new and pre-owned vehicles at Woody Anderson as well. They are ready to make you the best deal possible. Visit Woody Anderson Ford today.
Woody Anderson Ford on Jordan Lane in Huntsville, Hughes Road in Madison, and online at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Tom Abraham here for my longtime friend Mike Owen of Owen Home Appliance. You know, Mike has over 25 years experience in the appliance industry, and since 2017, Owen Home Appliance has served customers in the Tennessee Valley with a focus on quality products, affordable prices, and excellent customer service. Owen Home Appliance prides themselves on community involvement as well, sponsoring local teams and events while making sure that you get the right appliance at the right price. Visit their highly interactive showroom in Lacey Springs, just 8 miles south of the river on 231.
Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
At Stella at 5 Points, living isn't just about having an apartment, it's about living artfully. Imagine waking up with the upscale feel of Atlanta or Nashville right here in the heart of Huntsville. Modern, stylish apartments, open layouts, stainless steel appliances, and resort-inspired amenities. Nestled in vibrant 5 Points, you'll enjoy walkability, parks, dining, and quick access to downtown without the chaos. Stella at 5 Points. Live heartfully. Live Stella.
Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
'Cause I got a peaceful, easy feeling.
Welcome back in on a Tuesday morning, 7:17, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Before the break there, we had Nate Oates talking about doing the right thing. He thinks he's doing the right thing in playing Charles Bediako.
He is. To hell with the NCAA.
Did you see the story out of Manhattan, Kansas?
Nope.
There's a ladies basketball player playing for Kansas State. She signed a professional contract to play in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
The NCAA says you can no longer play college basketball because you signed a professional contract.
Yeah, well, so is half of the America on the men's side. So, because I love how they want to recruit. Now it's a club team. They're not really professionals over there in Europe.
Yeah, she signed to play a professional, but she is going to play after the college basketball season.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of verbally agreeing like most people do, she signed the contract, and now she can't play because the NCAA says you've signed a professional contract.
Well, then why is James Najee, who was a first-round draft pick, he signed a guaranteed contract?
I don't know.
And they put him over in Europe. So how does he get 4 years of eligibility, NC Double Dumb? How? You tell me how. Can you tell me? Can you give me an excuse? How does he have? I don't care if he never appeared in an NBA game. Okay? Because neither did Charles Bediako.
Right. The point in all this is it's if one can do it, they all should be able to do it, right? If Charles Bediako was playing and he did sign a quote-unquote contract, this girl lady, she should be able to play as well. The NCAA, they held her out of basketball games. The NCAA told her she could not play over the weekend.
Because they never follow their own rules, Scott. And that's why if you're Nate Oates, you just tell them to go stick. And, and if I'm the judge, I'm not going to recuse myself either. The NCAA doesn't control the federal courts.
Right.
That's what I'd tell them. I'd wave at them goodbye. Because any other coach in the country, if they could get Charles Bediako, they're going to play him. If they say no, slap them because they're lying through their teeth.
Let's go out to the phone lines. Bama Bino is with us first this morning. Good morning, sir.
Sorry I had to yell, but I'm not in the mood.
Good morning, guys. I missed you. I did yesterday.
Because I'm just tired of the hypocrisy. I'm sick of it. Because that's all it is. It's a bunch of hypocrisy, and then you got national media out there basically calling Nate Oates the biggest cheat in college basketball, which is a joke.
Aaron Torres, I believe, did that over the weekend.
I like Aaron. We've had Aaron Torres on the show several times, and I thought Aaron went over the line. I thought it was Bush League myself, but I really did. I thought it was complete Bush League. And he's a UConn grad. He loves the University of Connecticut.
He says, and I quote, Alabama taught us a valuable lesson Saturday. When things don't work out, cheat. When injuries happen, cheat. When you miss in recruiting, cheat. That's what happened the second Charles Bediako took to the floor Saturday.
Well, like I say, all I'll say is the NCAA started this with James Najee. There's no reason he should be on the court. And Baylor lost again at home to TCU.
I don't think they've won very many since he joined.
But I haven't heard them make a big deal out of it. They did for about 2 days, but because Scott Drew is considered, I guess, basketball royalty and won a national championship, they're not going to criticize him, and they're going to hang their hat on it was club basketball or he was placed overseas. Who cares? I guarantee you he signed that professional contract. In the first round, you get a guaranteed contract. Okay, so why is nobody talking about it? And why is Baylor not getting ripped? And they want to say Alabama circumvented. You don't think Baylor circumvented? It's the same thing. It's bull crap is exactly what it is. So I love Nate Oates and Greg Byrne for saying, I don't care what you guys are saying. I could really give 3 craps and then just keep playing. You know what I'm saying? Right. You don't let the media decide what you have to do just because they don't like it. Because most of them spell basketball with 1 L. And Aaron Torres does not, but I disagree with Aaron on this vehemently. If he wants to debate it, I'd love to have him on. And I'll rip his ass.
Bambino, what else you got, buddy?
I was agreeing with y'all. I didn't know if I was on or not. I missed you guys yesterday, and I totally understand, Drew, and I feel for you. I agree. I feel you. If they're not going to have any guidelines, or if there's no boundaries, there's no clear defined double standard or triple standard. The NC double dump is about, really, is it not about as meaningless as the Democratic Party? I mean, I say playing politics into it, but it's just as mean. They don't have any morals, no rule for this one, but you can do this on this side. They're going to have to put some guidelines on this, and I think the only way to do that is people just stop showing up at ball games and watching it, and then when their ratings go down, they'll start doing it like it used to be done, and people was interested, because there's people going to lose interest because it's changing the game. It's changing the game in baseball, basketball, football, and it's not going to be as interesting as it used to be. It's just changed the game.
Yep.
And if they're doing it, why can't Nate Oates do it? It's kind of like Bear Bryant. I read him one time. He believed in doing things the right way and not cheating. But when the competition's doing it, well, I heard one of the guys in Gene's book wrote that when they tried to get John David Crow, they had hired a Texas A&M pilot, a former graduate, and they just got a bale of hay and put a bunch of money in it, and it fell out of the sky at his mom and dad's farm. But, that's just how the others were doing it. So why can't they do it? So, I mean, but you got to have guidelines. And if you're going to have this transfer portal, let it be one time. Let it have collective bargaining, and don't allow them to just sign and get all this money and then leave because you're not tied to anything. If they're going to be paid, they need to be employed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way the real world is, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah, you're talking about collective bargaining.
So am I wrong to think of it this way? And that is, let's put a speed limit on 565. Let's put a speed limit of 80 miles an hour on 565.
Yeah.
But everybody's going to go 120 miles an hour, and they're going to sit there and maybe we're not going to really enforce it, but we're going to try to enforce it. But you know what? We really can't enforce it. We're going to put a speed limit out there, but we really can't enforce it. We can't do anything about it. Is that the NCAA right now with everything?
Yeah. Pretty much.
They try to put limits on things. They try to say things that they can and can't do, but they really can't enforce it right now.
Or they selectively enforce it with certain schools.
Yeah.
This all started. Let's not forget how this all started. This all started with California. If we do everything California done, we'd be China. I mean, that's not politics. That's reality. Yeah. We'd be China. And we'd be northern Mexico. America's America because of one thing. If they had teeth in the NCAA, they would told California, okay, y'all can create y'all's own law, but you have to play California schools. You can't play Nevada East.
Yep.
And you can't play any other schools because it's an amateur league. That would have stopped all of it. And then all these politicians wouldn't have rushed, oh, we got to do it. We got to do it. Oh, that's the stupidest thing. It started with California. We'd be slicking our hair back like Gavin if everybody did that.
Thanks for the phone call, Bambino. All right, let's get Richard in real fast. Good morning, Richard.
Morning, Richard.
Hey, morning, guys. One thing, too, on the NCAA attorney, he's either got 1 or 2 Tennessee degrees, too, now.
Oh, yeah. He wouldn't be biased or anything.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah, Tennessee's the whole reason Alabama got in trouble, considering Philip Fulmer's scumbag ass is the one that was trying to frame him up on stuff. And basically, when he was cheating his ass off and the NCAA looked the other way, and that's all they ever did when his fat ass was coaching.
One thing is, professional is professional, be it G League or Europe. I think I saw this guy from Baylor made over $1 million so far in his career.
You talking about Najee?
Bediako's making $30,000 a year in the G League.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy. Correct me if what are they going to say, that he didn't sign his first round contract?
No, he didn't. Basically, the NCAA, the NBA, a lot of times they'll draft people and not want to sign them because you can only have so many players and a salary cap. So a lot of times they'll sign younger guys and hope they develop.
Yeah.
So he did not sign.
So they just stashed him in Europe, is what you're saying.
That's it exactly. And you'll see. Look at the second round. A lot of times you'll see these guys.
I know they do that in the second, but I just the reason I was saying though is he was a first round pick, so I figured he would sign.
Is the 31st pick too? And look back. Answer me. Where's Josh Primo and Kyra Lewis right now?
Yeah, and they're in the G League. Well, Kyra is. I really don't know where Primo is, honestly. I guess he's.
I don't either. Kyra's in the G League.
Yeah.
Playing behind Sears.
Mm-hmm.
But
with the Herd, Wisconsin Herd.
You get drafted late in the first round. This year is a different story because if you watch basketball, watched any of the game last night with BYU and Arizona, you probably saw four first-round picks playing in that game.
Yeah, James Nye never signed a full NBA contract.
Okay.
He was cleared to play for Baylor despite being he was a 2023 draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
He only played in the summer league and professionally overseas, but never in an official NBA deal.
Oh, so just because Bediako signed a 2-way contract, they're trying to say he shouldn't be able. That's a bunch of BS. That's just a bunch of red tape mumbo jumbo crap.
He was selected 31st overall.
Yeah,
in the NBA draft by the Pistons, but never
the second round or the first. I thought they said it was first.
First round.
Yeah, I thought so.
He wasn't the first.
Yeah.
31st overall.
They just stashed him.
Okay.
Yeah. But the thing is, these guys are getting paid in Europe. What's the difference?
There's no difference. It's a bunch of hypocrisy.
There's no difference.
It's about who do you like and who do you not.
And he never received an NBA salary.
Because here's the deal. If Dan Hurley signs the guy at UConn, I don't think Aaron Torres is making near as big a deal out of it. Because that's his alma mater from UConn. So he's going to kiss their ass. That's what he's going to do.
Another thing too. I was at the game Saturday, and we would have lost by 10 or 12 without Bediako.
Yeah. No doubt.
Still, he missed he is a good player, and that's it. Good.
Yeah. If they have all the pieces, he can be a difference maker.
Yeah, but he missed. He got the ball 2 feet from the goal late in the game, and he shoots a 6-inch hook shot 2 feet from the goal.
Yeah.
Didn't even hit the rim. So instead of dunking, I'm just saying he's a good player, but not great. Out there making a big deal about it. But like I said, you got these 25-year-old guys playing, pro ball, and you got somebody in the AP not voting for Alabama because we're cheating. But, Gonzaga, that game, Tyron Grant Foster, got his 7th year through beating the NCAA in court. In a court, you know where the court was?
And
Spokane.
Washington, and I was going to say in Spokane, I'm sure it was local.
Yep,
and
that is correct.
And there's not a thing being said about it because it's Gonzaga and they're considered a media darling.
Yep. And one thing too is, I mean, he's the one that made the difference against Bama.
Yeah, he's a really good player, but they're not going to talk about that because it doesn't fit their narrative.
All right, Richard.
No. Okay, guys.
Thanks.
See you later.
All right, 7:31. Let's get a break in. When we come back, we'll go back out to the phone lines, 256-576-4977. We got some more SEC basketball news from over the weekend to get through as well. Talking Ball at 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Your Fox 54 weather.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Another incredibly cold night across North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. We're dropping into the upper teens and lower 20s. A partly sunny sky for your Wednesday. Temperatures climbing into the upper 30s, lower 40s. Bear in mind that we should be climbing into the lower 50s this time of year. Dropping into the lower 20s Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. Much the same Thursday afternoon. A partly sunny sky, highs in the low 40s.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com. Need tough equipment you can count on? Christopher Equipment has you covered. Whether it's air compressors, trenchers, bucket lifts, concrete tools, generators, skid steers, and more. Serving you with locations in Tullahoma, Shelbyville, Manchester, Fayetteville, and Hazel Green. Christopher Equipment. From job site to backyard, rent or buy, Christopher Equipment delivers the tools you need when you need them. Call 931-455-3900 or visit Christopher.equipment today. Christopher Equipment, powering your project.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, now with Lynn Layton Ford Indicator, where we're jump starting January with low rates, low payments, and low prices on a great selection of new Fords. Right now, you can get 2.9% financing for 60 months, plus $2,000 customer cash on 25 F-150s, or choose $4,000 in total rebates instead. We've got new 25 Explorers with 2.9% APR for 60 months, plus $1,500 in total cash. Get 4.9% financing for 60 months on your choice of any new 25 Ford Bronco. Or choose a $2,000 customer cash bonus to get a new 25 Bronco Sport starting at under $29,000. And there's never any hidden markups or dock fees. We hope to see you soon at Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com. All offers on select new Ford models with your good credit. Bronco Sport stock number example 27715T. See us for all the details.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Hi, I'm Danny Aldridge, lawyer in Alabama and Tennessee. At the Aldridge Law Firm in the Legal Town Center, we'll be there when life throws you those inevitable curveballs. Let us assist you with your legal needs, whatever they may be or become. You may reach us by phone at 256-534-3188. Just remember, we're here to help, whether it's personal injury, wrongful death, fraud and cheat, or estate planning made complete. We're here to help.
This will turn journalism on its ear.
Watch our stream on WZZN TV on Twitch and YouTube.
But you are the greatest hero in American history.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Mic check.
7:36 on a Tuesday morning. Welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Let's go back out to the phone lines, 256-576-4977. Pat from Tuscaloosa is with us. Good morning, Pat.
Morning, Pat.
Hey, good morning, guys. Guys, back during the Depression, Huey P. Long ruled Louisiana with an iron fist. He was a U.S. senator. They called him the Kingfish, and it's the same in Tuscaloosa or anywhere else in Birmingham. In Montgomery, Alabama. Hey, the majority of our lawmakers are members of what? The Machine in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, the Machine. And hey, and you're gonna think you're gonna find a judge in Tuscaloosa that don't have some ties to the University of Alabama? Come on. And if I was this judge, I'd hold their butt in contempt of court for calling me corrupt. Oh boy, would I show them Alabama justice. Come on, Drew, let's talk about it.
I know, I agree. I just got through telling somebody that was telling me you never know, it's a legal process. And I was like, I used some stronger language than this, but I said, screw them. You don't back down. I don't care. I've always hated the NCAA. I'm always going to hate the NCAA because they're corrupt and they're full of it. And they're the whole reason for every problem in collegiate athletics right now, because they've always been reactive, not proactive. They don't do anything above board. And they've always had one stupid set of rules after another that they selectively enforce. They never thought Ed O'Bannon would get anywhere. They thought they could just keep counting their NCAA tournament money. Why do you think the college football playoff isn't under the NCAA's thumb? Because they're buffoons.
No.
That's why.
No.
Yeah, it's why they changed it to the college football playoff and not the NCAA playoffs. Exactly right.
Yeah.
But guys, I just wanted to put my 2 cents in that if I was that judge, I would not step down from this case. And I'd show them Alabama justice is what I would do. All right. Y'all have a blessed afternoon.
And then,
Great shape.
Thanks, Pat. And the thing I've been told too is they've made such a big deal, Aaron Torres and the rest of them, about, is talking about that the judge is a listed donor with the Crimson Tide Foundation.
Yeah.
It's actually his wife. But of course, you're not going to, because he's married to her. So, but they're not going to point that out. They're going to act like he's some corrupt judge who's only ruling in Bediaco's favor because he's from the University of Alabama. When if this was Auburn, Tennessee, or any other school, they would welcome the player back with open arms. And if they said they wouldn't, they're lying.
Pat brought up the college football playoffs not being a part of the NCAA, and that is true. When they created the college football playoffs, they created all of this. And you can even go back to the BCS, because the BCS was not part of the NCAA as well. Major football conferences, universities, because of the massive TV revenue and control, that led them to create a separate entity away from the NCAA. The NCAA favors bowl games. They were slow to adopt a playoff format. The powerful conferences came together and created all of this. That is why the NCAA has no control over the college football playoffs.
Thank the Lord.
The only control that the NCAA has as far as championships go, they do all of the Olympic sports. They control all of those, and they control the college basketball national championships, the March Madness. That is all.
That's why
NCAA's
this young lady
control.
is not being allowed to play, because of these, these fools control it, and they're selectively enforcing it, even though she hasn't played for overseas in Australia yet.
Right.
She signed a contract, so she can't play.
Yes.
I mean, how many of these other players? And see,
Tess Heel is the lady's name.
So weak about all this, because they try to, the way some of these coaches that are now analysts that are like a Seth Greenberg and these guys that are hiding behind it.
Right.
They're sitting there, it was club basketball. It's not true pro basketball. I mean, give me a break. These guys have been pros since they were 12 or 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's all about selective enforcement. And Nate Oates is a smart guy. Sometimes people don't like smart people that and like I told somebody yesterday, they didn't wake up a week ago, let's see what we can do with Charles Bediaco.
I mean, this has been in the works for a while because Charles Bediaco's lawyers, like Nate Oates said, and his agent saw what's going on. Like, look, Charles has never played in an NBA game. He signed a 2-way contract, but why can't he go back even with his, and they knew about his eligibility clock. Well, he's got a semester left. Why can't you go back and play? I mean, why? There's got to be a first somewhere. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes if you're the first, people want to raise hell about it.
Right.
But I mean, look, when you and I have barely talked about the Najee situation, we thought it was weird, but we didn't really talk about it. We didn't crush Baylor over it. But Alabama's getting crushed, and this is BS.
Well, we said it was a slippery slope for college basketball. That if they keep doing this,
but they only talked about it for like 2 days with Baylor, and then they just let it go away.
That's true.
Because it's Scott Drew and Baylor, and they're considered a sacred cow. But when Alabama does it, Alabama's a bunch of cheats. Go to hell. And that's for all the media members too. I could care less.
7:42 here on a Tuesday morning. Let's get a break in because when we come back, let's flip the script. There was some SEC basketball. Auburn did accomplish something over the weekend they've not done since the 90s. We'll talk about that, what lies ahead for them, and some other news and notes surrounding SEC basketball.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
Hey folks, Arthur Seed, managing partner at University Kia, letting you know we are proud supporters of Alabama and Auburn football. Swing by University Kia today and check out our huge selections of brand new Kias, including the spacious Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the slick new K5, the sporty Kia Seltos. We've got perfect cars for every lifestyle and budget. Visit universitykia.com to view all our amazing offers and get pre-approved amenities, because we want to see you in a Kia. Roll Tide, War Eagle.
AL cert number 21014.
As we flip the calendar to 2026, the holiday season may have left you a little short in the bank account, but Talon Heating and Air will not leave you out in the cold.
That's right. We're still offering free second opinions and service calls with repairs. In addition to that, we're offering up to $1,600 in TVA rebates.
Very easy to do. If you need that $1,600 rebate, all you got to do is
give us a call at 256-503-4490.
Talon Heating and Air, they're live, they're local, and you can find them online at
TalentHVAC.com.
Who doesn't need to save
$1,600?
Very easy to do. Again, Talent Heating and Air, the number and the web.
That's 256-503-4490 or TalentHVAC.com.
It's Talent Heating and Air. They're live, they're local. Give them a call today.
You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loaders from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best. And this machine has it all, with features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Thompson Tractor knows how much value you place on your customer satisfaction. It's how you build your business. It's also how we build ours. Since 1957, hardworking folks like you have counted on Thompson to provide the absolute best lineup of equipment in the industry, all backed by a customer service and product support team that time and again have proven to be second to none. It's all about maintaining peak performance. Always has been, always will be. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor, we're here for you.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama, located online at universitykia.com.
7:46 on a. Oh man, we should have waited one more minute because then we could have been coming back on a 7:47.
I hope Charles Bediaco is going back on a 747, the whole team.
Well, some people want him on a Greyhound.
Yeah. Well.
By the way, there was some other college basketball news from over the weekend for the first time since 1996. First time since 1996. Auburn gets a win on the hardwood in Gainesville.
Hell of a win.
Snapping a 15-game losing streak at the O'Connell Center, 76-67. And that win.
Wire to wire.
That win for Auburn, because of the margin of victory, is like the first time in 3 years that Florida has lost a game at home that was not a one-possession type of ball game.
Yeah. I mean, it was they led by double digits for much of the first half, including going into halftime. And then they were able to hold off the Gators. I think Florida got within 8 with about a minute and 45 to go or so. But Auburn played outstanding basketball. As Stephen Pearl said, they paid attention to the scout and the defensive game plan, and they did a great job. I mean, kudos to Stephen Pearl, by far and away the biggest win of his, in his maiden voyage as the Auburn basketball coach. Yeah. And it completely changes the narrative of where Auburn's season could be headed.
Because it's their first win on the road against a ranked team all season.
Yeah, I mean, they had not played really well on the road, and they had been blown out a lot. And I think a lot of people, including myself, thought they were going to get solidly whipped on Saturday with the way Florida was playing. But Todd Golden was too busy talking to booster clubs and saying that and guaranteeing an Alabama win when you got to play Auburn, and so he deserves to get his ass whipped. And hopefully he got a little humble pie. So, worry about your team and who you're about to play instead of worrying about what's going on in Alabama when you've got, foreign guys on your squad that are basically pros like Alex Condon. So shut up, coach your own team, and be quiet.
Well, he's going to have to now. By the way, what's next for Auburn is they will play tomorrow night back at home in Neville Arena. They're going to welcome Texas to town. And all of a sudden, Auburn now 13-7, 4-3 in the league. And they do have those 3 ranked wins now. You've got the Florida win, the St. John's win. I'm going over the rest of them. I'm trying to think. There's one more. NC State. That's it. That's the other one that I was thinking about there. Thank you.
Yeah, Western Union. Another cheat.
Oh, Arkansas. My bad. Arkansas.
And I called that one. They destroyed Arkansas by nearly 30 inside Auburn Arena when a lot of people thought the season was over. I think they were 1-3 at that point in the conference, and a lot of people were shoveling dirt. And it's not time to shovel dirt on Auburn. I mean, it's they've got plenty of time to still turn this thing around. Now they've started to do that. They're 4-3 in the league, and they have a chance to solidly get into the NCAA tournament, which would be a huge step in the right direction for Stephen Pearl, who is doing a really solid job with this group, especially when you have to take over for your dad, who was the greatest coach in Auburn basketball history easily, and did things that the program had never done before and really enhanced basketball in our state.
Their next 4 games back to the gauntlet, just another trip around the SEC for Auburn. After Texas on Wednesday, it's at Tennessee on the 31st.
Yeah.
Then you host Alabama, then you host Vanderbilt, and then you travel to Arkansas.
It's tough. It's a good league. I think the Big 12, Fran Fraschilla was banging that drum last night.
Yeah.
Arizona nearly gagging away the BYU game. Of course, some of that was your typical road officiating, which, you can grab a guy by the shoulder, throw him into the stands, and then it's a jump ball. But again, karma worked itself out because BYU had a chance to win the game, got the shot blocked, and lost anyway. So you get so excited, we're about to win. They cheated for us, and then you're not going to win. So, and yeah, there was cheating going on last night. There's cheating that goes on in officiating too. It's absolute garbage. Some of it. I mean, you're watching that game. I mean,
I mean, Jaden Bradley, former Bama guard, he's been balling all night long. He's got like 26 points. Robert Wright, former Montverde guard who was bought by BYU off of the Baylor roster, sits there and he's been grabbing him all night long. And so he grabs him again right in front of the ref and then pushes the guy off of him. And, of course, they call him for an offensive foul after his shoulder almost dislocated. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of funny how that works out because all of a sudden the game's in Provo and they're trying to – and you wonder if the ref's got a FanDuel account. That's what I would have asked him.
Arizona, Texas Tech, Houston, Kansas, Iowa State, BYU. That's why they're lauding the Big 12.
I mean, they've got
now.
I think they got about 5 teams in the top 10, and 6 in the top 12 or 13. So you got to give them credit. I mean, that right now they probably do have the strongest league. And, Kansas used to dominate it every year, and now that's not the case anymore, especially with Arizona being in the Big 12 and Tommy Lloyd doing the job he's doing, which is a remarkable one.
Because you got Arizona number 1 right now in the country. You got Nebraska at number 5.
Hoiberg, he's got them all the way up in the top 5, yeah.
Yeah, and then...
well, wait a minute. No. Nebraska's
my bad. 10. Nebraska's Big 10.
Yeah, because everybody keeps trying to think. Well, yeah, you could.
No, because Nebraska,
every now and then you still think about that.
To me, Nebraska will always be in the Big 12.
You're thinking Big 8, Big 12.
Yes, original member of the Big 8. I mean, God dang, they've been in there forever. Yeah. But you got Arizona, you got Iowa State.
Yeah.
They're at number
BYU
8. Houston is in there at number 10. Texas Tech is 11. BYU is 13. Kansas is 14.
And I almost consider Texas Tech like a top 10 team because they're the only one to beat Duke. They beat them in the Garden. And And then they beat Houston this week too, and they those two teams split. We know how good Houston is. By the way, I'm going to give him a shout out because he made a couple of threes, and I thought he played pretty well for Houston. Even though in that loss, I got to give a shout out to Chase McCarty. He's carving out a role off the bench there for playing for one of the best coaches in college basketball, and I just think he's doing a great job. I just want to give him a shout out because when he was playing, when I was watching Houston, Kelvin Sampson on Saturday, I wanted to see if he was going to get to play, and he made a big 3 in the game to help them stay close. I mean, he's a redshirt freshman. But we're proud of him and from Westminster Christian Academy. Played for our good friend Ronnie Stapler, and if he stays there and keeps grinding, I think he's going to be a really good player because you're playing for an outstanding coach. And heck, man, they several years ago, Kelvin Sampson was a pariah, and now he's completely revamped his image. And and he's always been a favorite of mine. I always like the toughness of his teams, and he's won wherever he's been. And I thought Indiana, and I think that's why they're still in purgatory basketball wise, because they ran him off. So
for making phone calls,
it's so bad. You made.
Now he made a lot of them. He made a lot of them.
Who cares?
But he made some phone calls.
How much was Larry Johnson being paid at UNLV?
You wonder how much Grandmama was being paid.
When the whole starting 5 is with Richard the Fixer Perry, and that's his nickname, in a hot tub, I don't really think that's an above board situation. But let's not look into that. Whoops. Jerry's not doing anything. We're not going to worry about that right now. Nate Oates is playing a kid that we think's a pro, so he's a scumbag. But Jerry Tarkanian, he's above board.
Is there anybody that the NCAA probably dislikes more than Jerry Tarkanian
for 30 years?
They did everything.
In this case, the late great Jerry Tarkanian, I'm glad he thumbed his nose at him because the NCAA is a bunch of turds anyway.
He did everything.
But I'm just saying. I'm just talking about and this is mainly media coverage. The way the media handles this stuff.
As soon as the Sharks stepped on campus at Fresno State, remember that? It was like, oh, you're cheating. You're cheating just by stepping on the campus because we know you did it at UNLV.
Well, he had like 3 5-stars in the top 8. I mean, they all wanted to grow up playing at Fresno State.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Such a great basketball tradition there. And you know what's so funny? And you remember ESPN had like a documentary on Tark.
Yes, they did.
Because he failed so miserably in the NBA, but then he resurfaced at Fresno State. He had Chris Herron, he had Terrence Roberson, he had all these great players over there that ended up at Tremaine Folks, if I remember correctly.
They all ended up at Fresno State. And
somehow.
Yeah. And there was a young beat writer who was just getting started, who now, ironically, he worked for ESPN for a long time, but now I think he works for the NC Double Dumb independently because they have their own people that, cover college basketball. Was Andy Katz. I remember Katz coming to practice, and he was with the Fresno Bee at the time.
Wow.
Covering Tark.
Yeah.
And nobody really knew who Andy was at the time, but I just remember seeing him. And I'm pretty good with faces, and I was like, that was Andy Katz. And then you figure out that he was with the Fresno Bee at that time before he moved his way up. He was covering Tark at practice. And it was so funny watching Tark during that special because he'd be trying to coach his team, and half the time they wouldn't be listening to him. So...
we were giving shout outs. You mentioned Chase McCarty, something we did not get to mention because of everything going on. RJ Johnson from Kennesaw
Huge
State.
honor for him this week.
Yeah, he was one of 5 Oscar Robertson National Players of the Week honored by the organization.
Good stuff.
So congratulations to the former Grissom Tiger, RJ Johnson, picking up some national honors. All right, well, we've managed to get through 1 hour of the show. We've got 2 more to go. When we come back, our good buddy, he picked up an honor or 2 when he was playing high school basketball.
He's got a year of eligibility left. I wonder if he can
Does
play
he
again.
really?
Yeah, he left after his junior year because he graduated.
Well, he signed a professional contract.
So?
Richard Hendrix going to join us, the former McDonald's All-American, now SEC basketball analyst.
I'm just going to give him the floor because he got a lot of things to say.
All right, we'll do it. Richard Hendrix takes court next.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
Super Bowl 60 coming up at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. The Seattle Seahawks a 4.5-point favorite over the New England Patriots. There has been movement on the total. It has dropped from 46.5 to 45.5. Xander Schauffele, the 15-1 favorite to win the Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines Golf Course in San Diego. Ludwig Ahlberg plus 1750. Cameron Young plus 1850. Brooks Koepka returned to the PGA Tour after his travels in the Live Golf Tour. He is 50-1 in his return to the Farmers Insurance Open in San Diego this week. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you paint your body, your car, and your dog your school colors? Maybe. But it means more than that. It means your alumni network includes the state, the country, and beyond. It means your school ring doubles as your resume. And yeah, you better believe it means more titles, like doctor, CEO, and Your Honor. Because this is the SEC. And here, it just means more. What does it mean to be part of the Southeastern Conference? That yours is the only conference with its own chant? Well, yes. But it means more than that. It means a study abroad program that might include reforestation in a mangrove swamp in Australia. It means finding your calling, your future spouse, your startup's co-founders, and of course, grilling tongs that play your fight song. This is the SEC, and here, it just means more.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
This hour brought to you by SportsMed Orthopedic and Spine Center. Online at sportsmedalabama.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Hour 2 is back. Sportsmed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center. They haven't gone anywhere because they're dedicated to providing care that improves lives. You can give them a call today, 256-881-5151, to experience that sports med difference. SportsMedAlabama.com, the official medical providers for the UAH Chargers, which, by the way, are back in action on Thursday. They travel to take on Lee in men's and women's play. We'll preview that later in the week, but UAH back at it on Thursday and Saturday, both on the road. Sportsmed Orthopedic Surgery and Spine Center, dedicated to providing care that improves lives. We were kind of joking about it a little bit before the break. Our first guest of the morning, hey, we could see him back in an Alabama uniform because he's got a year left. We just kind of laughed at it, though. But, I mean.
At this point,
why not?
You have to laugh and with some of the takes out there. But
no, you do. You do.
He did leave because he finished his degree in 3 years. Was all SEC, has already been an SEC legend, honored by the University of Alabama. He was, of course, a second-round draft choice of the Golden State Warriors. He played in the NBA, played overseas for about 15 years. So he's been through all this. He's seen it from every angle, and now is one of the top rising basketball analysts in college basketball, doing a lot of SEC network and SEC games, and also doing Crimson Tide Sports Network stuff for the university, especially on the women's basketball side. So he has got his toe dipped in just about every part of the pool here, and we're going to give Richard Hendrix the floor, former Athens Golden Eagle, and let him give his thoughts on what's going on at Alabama and in college basketball. Richard, good morning. I'm sorry we had to delay this a day, but we appreciate it. I know you have a very busy schedule. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Doing great, guys. Glad to be here. I mean, maybe just need another day to let some of this snow thaw out around the country.
Yeah. So you're in Nashville, right?
And they got hit pretty hard.
Well, I tell you what. Now I'm in Tuscaloosa because I was down for the call.
Right.
And, they've been able to shuffle some things around, so I'll be back on the call again tonight for Alabama versus Mizzou, and then I got Auburn tomorrow night. So the schedule has been changed a little bit, and I've been able to kind of fill in and get some things done. But nonetheless, it's going to be a lot of fun to be back on the sideline.
Yeah, it is. And you also called the women's Alabama-Mississippi State game on Sunday, so you've been busy.
I have, but always a joy.
Well, Richard, you were courtside on Saturday for the Alabama-Tennessee game, and as we were kind of half joking with it last week, but not joking, is the fact that Alabama was playing Tennessee. It was a huge game for both teams because of the standings, and I know it's still early, but you never want to go back at the end of the season and drop a game and be like, well, that could have been the one. It's a huge game, but it was all overshadowed by the Charles Bediako situation, which took away from what a game it was supposed to be.
Oh, you're spot on. And that was the game that with Charles Bediako returning, that was the storyline. But the real storyline should have been the fact that it was two teams that a lot of people had a lot of high expectations on, and they needed a significant win. And Alabama was down with two of their starters, their second and third leading scorers, Amari Allen and Aiden Holloway. But Tennessee needed a big win as they had struggled all season long to figure out how to win games and close out games. But I'm telling you, as far as what happened on the court, that was a high-level basketball game, and Nate Ament showed the country why he's going to be a lottery pick next year.
Yeah, he really did. I thought he was the one guy that Alabama couldn't match up with, Richard. Not having Amari Allen and his offensive and defensive versatility, I think it really hurt them. They didn't really have someone that could guard him straight up. Then there was a lot of mismatches. I know one time Houston Millette ended up on him, and that's just with his ability at 6'10" to shoot the basketball, especially his mid-range game, which is kind of a lost art. It was really a matchup issue for Alabama.
Yeah, it was. It was beautiful to watch. I mean, he was just able to operate in that mid-post, and he took his time, and he got to his spots and with patience and turning shot right over the top. It was really showed you the moves of what you would see from a pro. And speaking of that, that's why you have to talk so much about what's with the headline with Charles Bediako coming into the court with a couple of years in the D-League, or the G-League rather, and participating. I think a lot of people looked at Charles as a guy that they thought when they heard the news, you have a former player that played at Alabama, and now he's back on the team after 2.5 years in the D-League. You expected that this would be some type of massive impact that we'd have. Now, I do think offensively he had a much bigger impact than many people expected. If you look at the tape, you know that Charles is a rim protector. He's a screener and roller. He's a finisher over the top with alley-oop threats. He definitely showed that he had a lot more polish coming from the professional ranks. But the question has to be, the elephant in the room is how many people thought that he should even be there to contribute in the current climate of college basketball.
What's your feeling on all of this?
Yeah.
Well, my thoughts on it are this. For Alabama, in their side of things, there's been a precedent that has been made. And the precedent has been made by several other colleges that you have players that have been able to come in from the G League. And then you definitely have players that have been able to get clearance to the NCAA who have participated in the pro ranks professionally overseas. Now, I would argue that when it comes to overseas, a lot of people say it's professional, but the biggest caveat I would say between the two is that the educational system and the athletic system are not intertwined when it comes to basketball and sports abroad. Over here, a person plays sports and they go to school, and that's where you get your development in the game. When it comes to overseas, you get your development and you come up through the ranks through professional clubs. So there's always a narrative that they say that these players are playing against grown men and they're making millions of dollars, and then they come over here and then, they've already had this experience. It's not necessarily the truth. Now, you have in some instances like a Ricky Rubio or a Luka Doncic, who was definitely playing for the top-level team with Real Madrid and playing at the top league with FC Barcelona, teams that I competed against those guys when they were 17, 18 years old. But most of them come up in the youth program where they literally might just be getting per diem for the month. It might be $300. You're staying in a dorm. You're playing against other 15, 16-year-olds. And they try to develop you in hopes to sell your contract as a bargaining chip to fund the club. So They don't really have a lot of experience. You'd almost think of it almost like a walk-on. They might practice a little bit with the big club, but they're never getting a lot of significant playing time. But as far as Charles Bediako's situation is concerned, those guys do get the opportunity to get drafted and then stay over there where their rights are retained by NBA teams and then come over when they're developed. And in that case, with the landscape being changed as it is now, I don't see anything wrong with him having the opportunity to say he can come capitalize on the fact that you can now actually pay on the collegiate game. It's the best deal going, and that's what everybody's trying to push for, is player empowerment. And so I don't really see why so many people would get so upset about players trying to empower themselves, because that's what the narrative that everyone has pushed over the last 5 years with NIL and the change of the NCAA.
Mm-hmm. And then, as you said, we did see a version of Charles Bediako that I would say it surprised me a little bit how well he played offensively. I thought he would have more of an impact rebounding the ball, shot blocking, and he had a small one, but not big enough. He even said so himself and told Nate Oates that after the game. But Alabama has not been whole. That's been Alabama's biggest issue all year, Richard. You watch them play on Saturday. If they can get an Aiden Holloway back and an Amari Allen with Charles Bediako, I would still say the ceiling for this team is high. What are your thoughts on where Alabama finds itself after the loss at home to Tennessee? Their third loss already in Coleman Coliseum.
Very high. I think if they can get a complete roster, and now if you have Charles Bediako, you have a rim finisher and an alley-oop threat. You have size where you can play him alongside Aiden Sherrill. And you have elite guards in that backcourt in Phylon and Holloway, and a freshman in Amari Allen who can do a little bit of everything. So they definitely have the roster to be able to compete with anyone in the league. And quite frankly, if they get it going in the country, I mean, you have some elite level teams, Arizona, Michigan, Duke, and whatnot, and Alabama has played against those teams. But if they can get strong, I think they can be there. The question will have to be, if they get healthy, do you have enough time to develop the chemistry to bring it all together? I think a lot of times people just think when you get back on the court, with your full roster that all of a sudden it's going to click. It does take time. You got to get the chemistry. And I did think that with Bediako's addition to the team that Aiden Sherrill took a slight step back and not being able to work his minutes. You know, it's hard for a young player to understand that because young players think starting and playing significant minutes, 30, 35 minutes is everything. You have to learn how to come in on a deep roster to be impactful in 16 minutes, 22 minutes, short bursts in and out off the bench. And that's what players have to learn how to do when they have depth on the roster to be a strong team.
Do you think we'll see now other Charles Bediako situations throughout college basketball?
Absolutely. I think you're going to see tons of things. You know, I probably came on you guys' show, and I've never been a big, advocate of the change in the NCAA. Now, I understand that the model was perceived to be broken. It was a semi-successful model, but I did think it was a lot of good things that happened in the old system that you had. And a lot of it protected the integrity of the game, protected the integrity of education, and it protected players. But if you're talking about the pressure that these coaches have to win games and that you have to fight over recruits that can leave on the drop of a hat, then competition and winning has to have a premium. So everybody's going to do what they have to do to try to win. And it's only a matter of time when you have a situation where many coaches that might be against something because they think that it should be a certain way, that they're going to get with the program until the rules are changed. So, you may not agree with it as far as what you believe in, as far as the integrity of the game and the traditions of it. But there's going to be a lot of change that's going to happen before some type of legislation or rule change is enforced to make everybody get on the same page. I would anticipate, just like you're seeing players who are coming onto teams mid-season, why not see trades or people being cut? If the semester ends at the end of January and coaches want to win, why don't they see that happen when someone's able to be removed off the team and go somewhere else and enroll and start playing the game? So anything in your wildest dreams, in the wild, wild west that's going on right now, I think could happen. So I think it's all wide open.
Yeah, no doubt. And now you'll be on the call tonight with Alabama and Missouri. That game's been moved up, by the way, to 7 p.m. It was going to be 8, but I would imagine due to weather concerns and things of that nature in the cold, they're moving the game up. But I know it was a big game for both schools, and Tennessee really needed kind of a resume win for them, a signature win. This is a game, though, Alabama has to have tonight, Richard.
Oh, yes. This is a must-win for Alabama. You fall below 500 in the standings. This is a chance here against a Missouri team that's got a lot of confidence to see if they can get things back going. I think Aiden Holloway is going to go, which is going to be significant. Amari Allen who is still maybe doubtful from last thing that I saw. But Missouri is really good. They're well coached with Dennis Gates. They're a confident group, and they're getting healthy. Mark Mitchell is playing big-time basketball. He's a strong power forward. He can score on the inside. He can get to the free throw line at a high clip. He got 12 free throw attempts in their last win, and he hit a buzzer beater to win the game. And this team has something about them that they're not going to go away. They're going to scrap and claw to the very end. And if you let them hang around long enough, they have enough character to win the game. So this is going to be a massive game for Alabama, and I think that they cannot take this one lightly at all.
You mentioned you've got Auburn coming up as well. Auburn,
what a win to them.
Yeah, Auburn goes on the road and gets a win in Gainesville for the first time since 1996.
Well, they're a good team as well. If it's one trend I think about the SEC is that maybe it's not the league that it was last year, and I think that's attributed to the experience that your top teams had in this league and the age that they had.
Right.
Now, with so many teams coming in, they're trying to have to figure out who they are, but they all have the personnel and the ability to beat anyone in the league. And so for them to go down there and get that signature win on the road against Florida, Stephen Pearl, that really shows that he's been able to dial in with his team and find a way to finish out games. They're all getting much, much better, and they're a team too. They have enough talent with Keyshawn Hall, Tahad Pettiford, and if Keyshawn Murphy can be impactful inside, they really, really can make a difference. And of course, we got to talk about the guys, the overseas players with Philip Jovic. He's been impactful coming in with his offensive rebounding and energy. So Auburn's going to be there. This is a wide open league. I would not make a pick right now who you think is going to win it. because it really can be wide open for any of these teams.
Well, I think that's what we figured out coming out of the weekend. Auburn shocked Florida and Gainesville. And don't forget, you'll be on the call tonight, as we mentioned, but Missouri beat this Florida team.
Yes. I mean, so it's a strong team. And they have really good guards. You talk about T.O. Barrett, who's been able to come in and be a contributor and put him in the starting lineup. He's a strong-bodied guard who can guard multiple positions. He gets downhill very well. You have Jacob Cruz that can really shoot the ball from the outside, and he has really good size. Jaden Stone is healthy. I mean, so this is a team to be reckoned with. So do not sleep on the Missouri Tigers. As I mentioned, that it's a wide-open league. You got to throw their name in the hat, too, because they can really get it going, and they can be a contender as well.
What do you think of real fast? They're in action tonight. They're taking on Kentucky, Vanderbilt. What do you think of the Commodores?
They lit a little bit of a wall, but I think they're still really good.
They're good, but I do think that they got the best of what they could in the non-conference, and their lack of interior play that they've been able to have against some of the bigger, stronger teams is starting to be a significant player and them being able to close out victories. Now they seem to get it back going on the road at Mississippi State in a convincing win that they had.
By 30.
But Kentucky's been able to get it done. And, they started off the season 0-2. I believe they won 5 in a row now.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're close to Texas A&M at the top of the standings. They're probably in second place. But Vanderbilt's a really good team. Tyler Tanner, Duke Miles, Tyler Nichols shooting it extremely well. So those guards are really, really something to deal with. And you got to be able to play at their pace so they can get it moving and get in a piece of the paint and kick it out and shoot with the best of them. But I think if they get things done down low, then they can return to the form that they've been in the early season.
2 more thoughts from me just really quick, because I'm glad you mentioned that. You grew up here, so you know his story. What a job by Bucky McMillan in year 1 and Texas A&M being at the top of the standings.
Yeah, and it doesn't surprise me. I mean, if you're from the state of Alabama, you know the dominance that he was able to have on the high school level. He went to Stanford and was the 3-time SoCon Coach of the Year and winning that league and getting to the NCAA tournament and taking Kansas to the wire. He's a player that even back when we played against him, he was at Birmingham Southern College playing for Coach Dwayne Rebold. He was an extremely poised and confident player on that team that was really good. And they had Thomas Vivianco that was on the team. Bob Jones, Brad.
Yeah, Bob Jones, that's right, yeah.
Took us down to the wire in Coleman Coliseum my freshman year. So it's not surprising for me to see him come in his first year at Texas A&M and be at the top of the standings halfway through, because he's a confident guy. He knows his system. He can get the best out of his players, and his players play hard for him. The only thing that I would be interested to see moving forward is when players see that his program is successful and he's having a lot of support from people to get better caliber players from the portal and from the recruiting ranks. How will those players be able to buy in to pressing for 40 minutes and have quick substitutions and those type natures? I think we have 5-star players, McDonald's All-Americans and whatnot, or even big-time portal finds. It's maybe a little bit more difficult for them to commit to doing that type of play. But if he can continue to get the guys that he knows how to find, then the SEC better watch out.
Well, and I wanted to ask my last final thought. You were on the call. It was a big win Sunday, I thought, for Christy Curry's group. They bounced back. They were very disappointed losing in Coleman Coliseum to Tennessee in a hard-fought game. They lost a hard-fought game at Auburn. They win over a solid Mississippi State team, and now they have a big week. They got to go on the road to Georgia, who's quietly having a really solid year. And then Sunday, after that game on Thursday in Athens, you've got to go to a really good LSU team that they beat last year in Coleman. Your thoughts on Christy Curry's squad right now?
I thought she's done a phenomenal job, and she's taken this program to heights that it hasn't been in some time. They were undefeated in the non-conference, got a big win at home against Kentucky, who was a top 10 ranked team, and they've been playing really good basketball. They got to get Essence Cody healthy and get her back into the game rhythm that she was in the non-conference, because she's a big factor in how good they can be. But when it comes to a coaching job, she is getting the most out of this team and the most out of the program. When you have 3 girls drafted into the WNBA draft at Alabama, and you have to figure out a way to reload and retool, and now you got Jessica Timmons coming back off the torn ACL, and Carly Weathers now playing a bigger role after she's been the glue player for 3 years on campus. and you find yourself ranked in the top 25, this is worthy of vote to be SEC Coach of the Year. Now, I know a lot of times people look at it. You want to give your Coach of the Year to the coaches that are going to win the league or do something really good. But when you look at what you're working with and what you're able to get out of, I think the job that she's done this season right now is phenomenal. Now, it's a lot of season left. Georgia and Coach Abe are playing really good basketball over there in Athens. And then you got to see if they can get another win against LSU, who's looking for revenge and looking like a really strong team under Kim Mulkey. But, they're doing well right now, and you have to be pleased where Alabama women's basketball is.
No doubt. And our good friend Ace Austin, she came off the bench, had double figures, did a great job providing energy on Sunday.
Had her best game, I thought, in the SEC play. The game's starting to slow down, really, for her.
Well, certainly the game is slowing down for you. We appreciate the time. You've been very busy. And
he might beg to differ because he's moving and moving and moving.
He's been stuck in Tuscaloosa, but there's worse places to be stuck. So, because he's been working behind the microphone. He's going to do that again tonight as Alabama takes on the Missouri Tigers at 7:00. Well, Richard, we really appreciate it, man. Great thoughts and great intel for us from a guy that's been through a lot of this yourself, but we appreciate the time, sir. Good call.
Thank you, guys. Enjoyed it.
Richard Hendrix, kind enough to spend a few minutes with us. Let's get a break in. 256-576-4977. You can join us after this.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. This is Charger Basketball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Swings it over to Jordan Mabe. Mabe attacks it. Boy, Jordan wants some. He'll scoop it, lays it up and one for Jordan Mabe. Oh!
This is Charger Basketball.
The three in the corner, up and good for Q. He now has 20 in the game. We're tied at 66.
This is Charger Basketball.
No Wi-Fi?
How are we going to stream the game?
Mom, I have a research project due.
How are we going to make dinner?
Don't let power outages send your family into a meltdown. Get a Generac generator from Current Electrical. We keep your lights on and your Wi-Fi on. Visit gensuperstore.com or call 256-880-1880. Trust us, your family will thank you.
Most current way to keep your power on. GeneracSuperstore.com.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
The Rich Eisen Show.
When I said back in the middle of December that we would miss the Kansas City Chiefs being in the playoffs, did you notice I had my finger on that chess piece this entire time for a month? I'm off on that one.
Man, I was hoping you weren't going to say anything because I was going to do this on Overreaction Monday on a Tuesday. We don't miss them at all.
Yeah. You're right. So, yeah. Wrong about that one.
The Rich Eisen Show from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPN Plus, and on Disney Plus.
This is Jerome from Birmingham, previously from the Paul Feinbaum Show.
Let's check in with Andre in the ATL. Hello, Andre. Good afternoon.
Hey, what's going on, Coach Feinbaum? Sound like you're a little bit under the weather cheering for them Ole Miss Rebels from Oxford, Mississippi, Coach. Is that true?
Had a little bit too much hotty-toddy last night out in Phoenix.
The Paul Feinbaum Show. Weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and on the SEC Network.
Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. only on 97.7 ESPN and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app.
right, 8:25 on a Tuesday morning. Do have, I guess you could call it, I don't want to call it breaking news, but it is kind of happening news because breaking news means you didn't see it coming. Yeah. And it really kind of catches you off guard, and it's something that is breaking. Duke and Darian Mensah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's really not breaking news because you knew it was going to happen because they wanted to go to mediation instead of the lawsuits and all that other stuff. But Duke and quarterback Darian Mensah have agreed to part ways. Mm-hmm. And they've worked they've worked their differences out, but they worked it out enough to where they're both going to go their separate ways. Darian Mensah can now officially
be a Miami Hurricane.
Yes, be a Miami Hurricane. His number one wide receiver at Duke will follow him to Miami and be a Hurricane.
So above board. Nate Oates is a scumbag, but we're just going to gloss this over that Miami, because they whiffed on so many other quarterbacks, decided they were going to go get Darian Mensah, who'd already signed a contract.
Tampering.
How is that not circumventing?
It's tampering.
But it won't make the national headlines that Alabama and Charles Bediako will, because half these national media jackasses have an agenda of their own.
The other big story that kind of falls in line with this, and because we did not have a show yesterday, we did not get to touch on it. And that is Dabo Swinney. Mm-hmm. Have you heard about this one with him and Ole Miss?
Yeah, he was calling him out, man. He basically called a press conference to call out old Wild Turkey.
Dabo Swinney, you're exactly 110% correct. Sat down and had a prepared statement.
Right.
A prepared statement. It was like 3 or 4 pages long.
You know what this reminded me of? This reminded me of the late Al Davis.
Yeah.
When he had to fire burnt popcorn.
Lane Kiffin?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Dabo Swinney.
He had a PowerPoint presentation when he had to fire the scumbag.
Sat down in front of the cameras. Now, some around college football have said that Dabo came off whiny and complaining and all this other stuff. Others are saying, well, maybe
tampering
he's shedding.
Is tampering.
Yeah.
But it's funny how since they all Ole Miss has become like a great story because of their perseverance. Now they're going to
against Lane Kiffin,
and then now Lane Kiffin. It's just Lane Kiffin. That's what they decide. They decide they all want to kiss his ass, or half the population as far as the media, especially of the female persuasion. We all know what they want to do.
All right, let's get a break in because the Dabo comment is not it's lengthy.
Yeah.
But what we need to hear from it, we've got to hear it. So let's get a break in because when we come back, Dabo Swinney literally calls out Pete Golding by name for tampering. We'll let you hear what he had to say next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Travel accommodations for 97.7 ESPN The Zone provided by University Kia. Your Fox 54 weather.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the upper 30s. A couple of us could see the lower 40s. Still going to be really cold as we head into the overnight. We're dropping into the upper teens, lower 20s. A partly sunny sky for your Wednesday, climbing once again into the upper 30s and lower 40s. Bear in mind the average high temperature for this time of year at around 53 or 54 degrees. We're not going to be anywhere close to that anytime too soon.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. I know your accident is the real thing, and they happen to real people.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. There's a lot of talk right now about bigger, but when you've had a wreck, is bigger better?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. Do you want to be just a case number?
With offices in Huntsville and Scottsboro, we take the time to help.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
You can now do more without it costing you more. Alabama's attractions have come together to offer the all-in-one ticket that downloads to your mobile device. No matter how many attractions listed on the ticket you see during the time span you bought, your price stays the same. Pick the right ticket option that best fits your schedule, and then enjoy more attractions without spending more. All-in-one tickets for different areas of Alabama are available at alabama.travel and other places where online tickets are sold. Brought to you by Alabama Tourism Department, the ABA, and this station.
Hey, brother. Saw you called.
John, I've been thinking about our days during the war, and
I'm on my way.
Thanks, man.
If you are a veteran struggling with depression, anxiety, or need someone to talk to, call 800-273-8255. Press 1. It's private and free 24/7. Call 800-273-8255 or visit vetsforhope.com. Sponsored by the Partners of Alabama's Challenge and the Alabama Broadcasters Association.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
There's a stranger in my house. Somebody here that I can't see. A stranger in my house.
All right, 8:33. There's a stranger in my house.
Ronnie Millsap.
Some good stuff right there.
He's a guy that's forgotten about sometimes that had a great voice, man.
All right, before we get into Dabo, let's get to the phone lines real fast because we got to hear this Dabo Sweeney stuff. Brandon is with us. Good morning, Brandon.
Morning, Brandon.
Boy, y'all played that drinking music this morning.
Yeah. What's up?
I got to see Ronnie a few times. It was a good show.
Oh,
really
nice, nice, sweet.
And what I was going to say, do you get much better than Richard Hendrix behind the microphone?
No, I mean, I think he's smooth as silk, man. I listened to his call of the Alabama-Tennessee game was very, very – I mean, he's a Bama grad, but he's extremely measured, extremely fair, and extremely sharp.
He's good.
I think he's definitely a rising star in the profession, and he's a lot better than some of the guys I listen to.
He does his homework.
Well,
yeah.
Very much. Knows every player's name on the team, the bench, knows all of it, and he's calling out plays of what they're going to run, Romo-esque, right before they run it. And he comes up and says, well, right here you'd be a good high ball screen. And it's like he can see the game happening before it even comes out.
Right.
And that, to me, are the best kind of announcers are the ones that they can see it, they can tell you what's going on, and they can tell you what is about to happen. And I just appreciate his talent because he's just so good. There's no verbal fillers. There's no stammering. He knows exactly what he wants to say, and he's as good behind the microphone as he was on the court. He might actually be better behind the microphone than he was on the court.
Just a class act.
I just wonder at what point he's really going to get to step up and do really, really big games because Tell me somebody out there right now you think that's better than him.
I mean, I love listening to Jay Billis, but I think Jay is probably at the top of the profession right now.
He's like the Kirk Herbstreit of college basketball is Jay Billis.
And I mean, and just like fine wine, I love Coach Raff.
Right.
You know, Bill Raftery. I mean, he's been doing it for 40 years, but he just continues to be really good. And I think Grant Hill's pretty good. I think he and Coach Raff do a really nice job. And then as far as a play-by-play guy, I really like Ian Eagle a lot. I think he does a great job.
Agreed to all that very much. And this whole situation that you've got with the supposed club basketball, and Richard went into that and talking about it.
That was neat to hear him kind of explain it a little bit, because there was some stuff that I wasn't aware of, but that was good stuff.
Okay, and I get what he's saying about you might get per diem and you might get all this stuff, and it's different than over here. But there was a time that if the NCAA could prove you got 10 cents, you'd be ineligible forever.
Well, yeah, because
they would hold you to that.
Because I mean, remember, I mean, there's cases where the NCAA wouldn't let players play because of bagels and cream cheese. Remember that they got cream cheese instead. They should not have. They could have the bagel, but they couldn't have the cream cheese.
Well,
and the NCAA was like, "You're ineligible because of that."
Yeah, see that's that kind of pettiness is why when this kind of thing happens, I'm just like, go to hell, like go away, shut up, and just I don't want to hear it. You know, you've done so many things in the past that was garbage, and you didn't handle yourself properly anyway. You got us in this NIL bind because you're stupid and you were greedy. So go away. You know what I'm saying? In other words, we'll finally get this fixed down the road, but this will not be any kind of feather in your cap because you guys are a bunch of bureaucrat morons.
I was never one of the people that gave a crap about the whole Bruce Pearl barbecue thing. I was like, really? Big deal. Who cares?
Yeah.
The gentleman y'all were talking about earlier,
yeah,
that they followed him around for 30 years. And
Jerry Tarkanian.
Yeah.
Tarkin. Okay. Now, that dude right there is a third Walt Hustler commander-in-chief behind the scenes, to quote some 90s rap lyrics. That guy right there, if you want to follow him around and be mad at him, okay. I'm cool with that, because some of the crap he pulled off is just gangster legend.
Oh, it is. If you peel back the onion with his days at Long Beach State, yeah.
Yeah, well, remember, he wrote a column charging that the NCAA ignored improprieties at powerful schools while it pursued smaller, more defenseless institutions.
Well, yeah, he thought he was being harassed while they let other schools get away with stuff.
Yeah, because he was slapped with probation for recruiting violations at Long Beach State. This is back in the 70s.
Oh, yeah, this is 70s.
This was like early 70s.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people that thought UCLA got away with murder because they had a super booster that was.
Back in the layup.
Yep.
Yeah, and I can't remember how many iterations there were of the Larry Johnson shoes and Grandmama and all that. I think I had every single. I think I had all the pairs. Drew probably still has all the pairs.
I actually didn't have any Grandmamas. I didn't have those.
Okay. But the big thing for me here is there's a couple of things that people are missing. There is a day in which, when you go in the NBA draft, you have to come out of it and go back to your school, and there's a drop dead day. And per the NCAA, if you go play in the G League, you have exceeded that date, and you have exceeded the mandate because you got paid to play in the G League no matter how much money it was. So no matter what, the David and Jai guy did both of those things. And they still let him come back. You cannot establish rules and say, these are the rules, and then turn around and say, oh, but he didn't play college basketball, so we're going to let him circumvent that. You don't get to do that. If you put a line of demarcation there and say, this is the line, you have to stick to it. And they have not done that. And they have gone back and made special exceptions for people in all kinds of situations, and they try to justify it however they want. And when you do that, you open the door to other people that are watching saying, well, if you're going to do that for him, you're going to do that for me. And that's where we are and where we've ended up now is they keep making special exceptions And correct me if I'm wrong, we got one football player, did they say it's his 8th or 9th year now?
We've seen some 8 and 9 year guys that have been given
coming up
years.
from Miami.
Yeah.
He was there with Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you keep making these exceptions. And I understand some of it's medical. Eventually, you do like that JFK movie. What a deadly web we weave when we practice to deceive. So that's where they are now, and they've created a spider web of entanglement. But people like Aaron Torres only want to point the finger in one direction. Either kick them all out or make them all eligible. I don't care. I like Charles. But figure out what you want to do and set some hard rules and abide by them. And at this point, you may not be able to. You may be in antitrust hell, and people are just going to do whatever they want. But you saw it coming. You could have got in front of it 10 years ago, and you didn't. So this is the crap sandwich we all have to eat now. Roll Tide.
Thanks, Brandon.
And that booster I was talking about, he was mid 60s in the 70s, and then I think UCLA finally had to disassociate themselves with Sam Gilbert. And the reason I bring it up is because there's an interview out there with the late Bob Knight, who basically said he wasn't a fan and didn't have a relationship, with John Wooden because of Sam Gilbert, because he felt like UCLA was cheating, and that Sam Gilbert was basically buying players. And that he was like, that's why he never kind of talked about John Wooden in reverential tones as far as what a great coach he was, because he felt like they were circumventing things in his mind, and that's why UCLA won all those championships. So there's two sides to everything. But and again, that I was very, I basically was born in 75. So UCLA was ending their run under Wooden. So I never really knew anything about that until later when you kind of
start reading stuff. Yeah.
I had no idea.
Well, we mentioned Dabo Swinney, and we mentioned this whole tampering thing.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Here is Dabo reading his prepared statement on tampering, accusing Pete Golden. Gotta send it to the machine. I gotta send it to the machine. I was listening to it to make sure that it was the one that I needed, and it is. So here is Dabo.
Ryan Williams calls Jordan Sorrells, and during that conversation, Ryan conveys that Ole Miss has been coming hard after Luke. Sorrells confirmed. He went with the agent. He said, "Are you talking about the same Luke that's been enrolled at Clemson, that's been in class, that's moved here, that's signed with Clemson?" And the agent assured him, "Yes, the same one." But he also assured Jordan Sorrells that Luke had no intention of leaving Clemson, but just thought y'all should be in the loop and check up on him tomorrow. So Thursday, January 15th at 11:45 a.m., just this past Thursday, Jordan came to me, and he told me about the conversation that he had the night before with the agent at 9:49. And so I told Sorrells, I directed Sorrells, "Hey, you reach," I don't know. I said, "Who's their GM?" He said, "His name is Austin Thomas." I said, "Will you reach out to their GM?" He said he knows him. And I said, "Listen, this guy has been a head coach for 4 weeks." I said, "You reach out to the GM. I'm going to give him some grace. And you let him know that we know what's going on. All right. And if he doesn't cease communication, I'm going to turn him in." And so I really thought that would be the end of it. But it wasn't. So after that was 11:45. At 12:10, Jordan communicated to Austin Thomas via text because he was unable to reach him on the phone. And just a few minutes later, at 12:14, they both connected on the phone. The Ole Miss GM, Austin Thomas, and Jordan reiterated our stance one more time. The GM assured Jordan that he had communicated to the agent that he wanted no part of this and that his relationship with Jordan was more important to him than Luke Ferrelli. But that Pete Golding just does what he does, quote, unquote. So at 1:30, Sorrells met with Luke face-to-face in his office. And Luke communicated to Jordan and to Ben Boulware that Pete texted him on Wednesday morning, the head coach at Ole Miss, when he was in his 8 a.m. class. And he said, the text message said, I know you're signed. What's the buyout? And he also, Luke said that Coach Golding also texted him a picture of a $1 million contract. Luke also mentioned to Jordan and to Ben that Coach Golding had Trinidad Chambliss call him from his phone, and that Coach Golding was there continuing to talk on his phone to push him to re-enter the transfer portal. He also said that Jackson Dart had reached out and called him. But Luke again assured Jordan that he had no intention of leaving.
Wild turkey. Shocker. I give him 3 years. 3.
Dabble's got the timeline down.
3 years and he'll be unemployed. That'll be he'll be having to start his climbing his way back up as a defensive coordinator. I don't.
But here's the thing, though.
Well,
I mean,
head coach.
Miami got Darian Mensah by doing the same thing. I mean, no doubt about it, right? I mean, this is going on all over college football,
all over the place. I mean,
so
in a way, same thing with Texas, with Alabama, with Smothers, with Hollywood Smothers. But I also blame some of that on Alabama as well. You can't let the kid leave without signing something. But what we just said, I mean, Luke and the linebacker from Cal that's at Clemson and Mensah, they both are signed. And that's the craziness of this going on. It doesn't even matter if you've signed. Like Pete Golding just texted, what's the buyout? Like we'll buy you out and then we'll give you $1 million contract. That's how stupid this stuff is. And you can blame the NCAA on all of it because they were completely unprepared. They're too busy giving speeding tickets to people, and you got crap like this going on. But we can't have Charles Bediako playing. We can't have Charles Bediako playing. He just can't play. It's totally circumventing everything. Shut up before I slap you for being stupid.
That's it. For just being stupid.
Yep, absolutely. For being hypocritical and stupid.
Got to get a break in. Got to wrap up hour 1 or 2, I should say.
2.
Got to wrap up hour number 2.
We've got a full last hour.
No, we do. We do. We got a lot of information coming your way.
And it won't be stupid and hypocritical.
But we still have got to wrap up hour 1. Stupid people may still say stupid things.
Stupid people win stupid prizes.
We'll wrap it all up next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at the service department at Woody Anderson Ford. When you need service on your vehicle, whether it's a Ford or any other make, you want to get into Woody Anderson Ford where their expert service technicians will get it diagnosed and repaired right away, the right way. And while you are there, check out all the new and pre-owned vehicles at Woody Anderson as well. They are ready to make you the best deal possible. Visit Woody Anderson Ford today.
Woody Anderson Ford on Jordan Lane in Huntsville, Hughes Road in Madison, and online at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
Hey, I'm Bobby White, now with Lynn Layton Ford Indicator, where we're jump-starting January with low rates, low payments, and low prices on a great selection of new Fords. Right now, you can get 2.9% financing for 60 months, plus $2,000 customer cash on 25 F-150s, or choose $4,000 in total rebates instead. We've got new 25 Explorers with 2.9% APR for 60 months, plus $1,500 in total cash. Get 4.9% financing for 60 months on your choice of any new 25 Ford Bronco. Or choose a $2,000 customer cash bonus to get a new 25 Bronco Sport starting at under $29,000. And there's never any hidden markups or dock fees. We hope to see you soon at Lynn Layton Ford, right in the heart of Ford country, just a mile south of the Beltline indicator, or online anytime at lynnlaytonford.com. All offers on select new Ford models with your good credit. Bronco Sport stock number example 27715T. See us for all the details.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he can take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well, because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
All right, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Scott Tyson, Drew DeArmond. Snack time. Snack time here for us. You got the candy, I got the yogurt.
Well, I don't know how old these Mr. Goodbars are. But
that doesn't stop you from experimenting.
No, it's not.
You did grab some chocolate chip cookies from the lobby.
One, in the Ziploc bag. I don't know whose they are. I'm sorry, but
that doesn't stop you either.
I thought
Cheerwine cookies. You just take whatever.
There's one Cheerwine left. I didn't touch it.
Well, we know whose they are now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of against drinking the last one. Especially if I didn't.
The third to last, you're okay with.
No, I was good with that.
Okay. By the way, we did look during the break because we were curious. You were curious because you got a notification. Today is National Chocolate Cake Day.
Chocolate Cake Day. See, I thought it was National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day, so that's why I ate chocolate chip cookies now.
No, it's National Chocolate Cake Day. The last Tuesday in January, in case you are wondering, it's also National Plan for Vacation Day.
What? Okay.
Just saying. So plan for your vacation day. Encourages everyone to plan their upcoming time off. Some more than others. 256-576-4977. That's the number to join the show. Coming up in just a few minutes, Matt. Bryan Mathews will join us.
Yeah. We'll talk about that huge win for Auburn on the hard court against Florida. And then tomorrow.
Yeah.
That'll be Wednesday. Auburn and Texas will be playing inside Neville Arena for Auburn to continue to climb up the SEC standings. And they're on a 3-game winning streak now in the league. After starting for 1-3, they're now 4-3. So they're in a much stronger position.
Digging themselves out. I mean, not as much as what Arkansas had to do last year, starting 0-5. But anyway, just a short time left here, and then Bryan Mathews will join us. Hey, one thing, and you did when we left on Friday, and the Thursday and the Wednesday and the Tuesday and the Monday before that, and then the week before that and the week before that, you were very adamant that Alabama needed to make a change in offensive line, defensive line coach, needed to make a change in the trenches. Well, they did, at least on one of them.
Yeah, I always said that the likelihood of change at Alabama, my top 4 was offensive line, special teams, defensive line, and running back in that order. And I thought that would be the order of likelihood. And Chris Kapelic, I still don't really know how to say it. I'll just say Coach Cap. He'd been there for 2 years after they hired him. He spent a long time at Michigan State, North Carolina, but he had a cup of coffee at Baylor before Alabama hired him away. He was dismissed, even though he had been recruiting for the staff and did a really good job recruiting and building relationships. But Coach Cap was let go by the University of Alabama, and they officially hired his replacement yesterday, Adrian Clem, who actually had been a defensive analyst last year for Lincoln Sharman at USC, but has a long history as an offensive line coach, both on the college and professional levels. It was Pac-12 Recruiter of the Year back in 2014. Is known as a very strong recruiter, and hopefully will be a better developer and a better fit with Kalen DeBoer than Coach Cap was coaching-wise. I don't really think that was a great fit on the field. We'll see if Adrian Clem is, and he's been officially hired, and if Alabama may, in fact, bring in maybe an assistant offensive line coach. We'll see.
All right, hour 2 is done. Hour 3 will get started with Bryan Mathews after we pay the bills.
Tide fans.
Here comes the Tide.
Let's roll.
At one for the win. Ball game. For the win.
Grab your hard hats and tune in for blue-collar basketball with the Crimson Tide all season long on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You'll love the expanded wine selection at Liquor Express. From special occasion to everyday table wines, they've got what you need. Meet your friends at the largest tap wall in Alabama with 105 rotating selections. Then take home a growler full of your favorite or choose from our 1,000 canned or bottled beers. Need help stocking your bar or planning your party? Liquor Express has a knowledgeable, professional in-house staff that can assist you with anything from your bar to the planning of your special event. Visit liquorexpress.net for tasting specials, giveaways, and classes.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement. It's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Injured in a car accident? Get the help you need. I'm Morris Lilienthal, a personal injury lawyer right here in Huntsville. I've personally helped over 4,000 clients with their injury claims. My firm, Martinson & Beeson, has been helping clients for over 80 years, and we have received over 300 5-star Google reviews. We know that injuries and accidents can be life-changing, and I'm here to help you navigate the entire process. Get in touch with me right now by visiting morristheattorney.com. There's no charge for our meeting. Again, that's morristheattorney.com. I look forward to helping you.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by the lawyer. What's better than 2 end-zone sports bars? 3 end-zone sports bars. And we have you covered with our original location on University across from Red Lobster, in Jones Valley on Cecil Ashburn near Carl T. Jones, and our newest location in the Midtown District on McMurtry Drive opposite the Target Plaza. All locations feature the NFL Sunday Ticket, Tuesday half-price burgers, and Wednesday $1 jumbo wings all day long. You're never far from the end zone. End Zone Sports Bar.
This hour of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by Hyundai Decatur, located on the Beltline.
In the market for a new or used car? Look no further than Hyundai of Decatur. With a large inventory of new, used, and certified pre-owned Hyundai models, Greenway Hyundai of Decatur is here to service all of your Hyundai needs. Come visit our exceptional service department as well. With state-of-the-art facilities and a caring team of automotive professionals waiting to service your vehicle, make Hyundai of Decatur your #1 choice for all your automotive needs. Give them a call today at 256-274-0279 or visit them online at greenwayhyundaiofdecatur.com.
Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
Hour 3 is upon us. Hyundai of Decatur, 256-713-0505, 3805. Hyundai of Decatur. That's no, call that one. You ain't getting what you need. 256-280-2131. There we go. 256.
You mean like spam calls when you're on a break?
Yep. Spam calls during the break.
Mm-hmm.
Greenway Hyundai of Decatur. They want to see you drive away in a Hyundai. 256-274-0279 will get you the sales department. 256-957-0008 will get you the service department. Greenway Hyundai of Decatur. Find your vehicle. Trade and upgrade. You can get the Hyundai Kiona. You can get the Hyundai Tucson. All of that available there at Greenway Hyundai of Decatur. We mentioned Auburn got a big win on Saturday at Florida inside the O'Connell Center. First time since 1996 that they did that. And I mean, because of the history with Auburn going to Florida and how good Florida had been playing, I know Bruce or Stephen Pearl and company, players themselves, they had to believe they could get a win because that's what you're supposed to do. But I tell you what, outside of that Auburn program, outside of everyone there, I thought it would be a long day for Auburn just because of the history and everything there inside. Well, yeah. But streaks are made to be broken, and Auburn did finally break that one.
They played as their best 40 minutes of the year. Without a doubt, their best first half of the year because they buried them and they made Florida have to fight uphill the entire game. Keyshawn Hall was tremendous. He's really probably been one of the top 2 to 3 players overall in the SEC, and you could argue the biggest impact transfer. And at first, that wasn't really being talked about because of Auburn's slow start to conference play.
Yeah.
But certainly, you're starting to realize that now. And it's even bigger because we still haven't seen the best of Tahad Pettiford. Now, we've seen it in glimpses, but I'm talking about a full 40 minutes, the kind of impact Tahad Pettiford had last year. He's had some better floor games because Stephen Pearl has lauded him for that and defensively. But this is an Auburn team. Keyshawn Murphy's been tremendous since coming over from Mississippi State. And it also goes to show you that sometimes it takes a while because let's not get it twisted. Tahad, I guess, is the only player that's back from Auburn's team a year ago because this is a completely different team with a new head coach. So, but I thought it was a very significant win, probably as big a win as Auburn's had in the regular season, even in their 2 Final Four runs.
Right.
We're going to talk about that and more with our next guest. Since 2001, covering the Auburn Tigers. He's done that for AuburnSports.com. He's with AuburnSports.com, which is part of the Rivals and On3 Network. And we're going to talk some Auburn hoops. And, of course, the transfer portal and what Alex Golish is getting accomplished right now as he's getting ready for his first spring at the helm of Auburn football. Brian, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me in.
Yeah. How is the weather in Auburn? Did you guys get hit hard? How is it just cold? What's going on?
We got fortunate, missed the ice storm and the snow and all that good stuff, or bad stuff, depending on what you got. But just cold, just really, really cold. So just drip the faucets and, be careful. Don't leave the pets outside and everything will be all right in this area of the country.
Yeah. Nashville's getting smashed. We talked to Richard Hendrix in the second hour of the show. I got to start saying second hour now because we are a 3-hour program. And he's basically been stuck in Tuscaloosa, but he's also working because he called Alabama, Tennessee, and then Alabama, Mississippi State ladies, and now he'll be calling Alabama, Missouri. And then he's going to be on their way to your neck of the woods because Auburn will face Sean Miller in Texas on Wednesday night.
Yes, they will. And Texas is a really talented team. They've already got some big wins on their schedule, more than capable of coming to Auburn and winning if Auburn doesn't show up and play with that intensity, with that energy they showed against Florida. Auburn, that's their identity now. I think it's hard for a team to do that for 18 games, in an SEC schedule and show up like that and play like that. But I think Auburn now knows that when they do that, they have a chance to beat anybody on their schedule.
We heard Stephen Pearl, and we've heard him, urge this group to one, play better defense, two, listen to the scouting report, trust the scouting report, because, he felt like it let them down in a couple games. The defensive efforts let them down in a couple games. Boy, they trusted everything the coaches put in front of them on Saturday in Gainesville.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And he has really gotten onto them, going back several weeks about not listening or not implementing or executing the scouting report, and making these, obvious mistakes against teams. But you're seeing that less and less now. Now they are focusing in. I think as they do that and have more success, they understand how important it is and they're able to repeat it. And that's what you're seeing with Auburn now. So I think Pearl and his staff deserve a lot of credit for coaching up this team. I think it was a really tough job with the 10 newcomers, with Tahad, as you mentioned in the opening, maybe not playing as well up to his potential, or maybe the potential that we put on him, the expectations. So, but still not playing at the level maybe a lot of people expected. I think this has been a real challenge for those guys. I think they've really done a great job of getting the best out of this group of players.
Well, and you bring up a point about that too, because there had to be an adjustment with Stephen Pearl sliding over, a seat or two, however you want to phrase it, to be the head coach. His father had huge shoes to fill. They had to get used to him being the voice of the program. And when you have only one returning player, that's tough. And you have to gel, and you have to sometimes be patient. And I know a lot of people were panicking due to the 1-3 start within the SEC, but now we've seen things start to stabilize. But I will say this, I still think, because of the way they had been playing, and I had stated I thought they were the best team in the SEC, and they may still very well be. Yeah. I was really stunned at how well Auburn played, and I still stand by what I said as you came on. I still think it's as big a regular season win as Auburn has had in a long time.
It is a big one. They got that one at Kentucky last year, right? And into that streak, that was back in '88 when I was a student. So that's a long time ago.
John Kaler?
Yep, John Kaler. Yep. So that's back-to-back years. They've been in some long streaks there. So, but yeah, that was a big win for them. And just the way they came out and kind of punched and kicked and, just caught, I think, Florida off guard right away, and just kept up that for, most of the 40 minutes. I think everybody knew that Florida was going to make a run eventually. And I thought that important point of that game was you've got 7 to 8 minutes left. Florida ties you at 56. And Stephen Pearl said 3 weeks ago we lost that game by 20. And he's talking about that point in time right there. And they didn't. They buckled down. They went back to what was working for them early, and they kept competing, and they ended up outscoring Florida. I think it was 20-11 down the over the final 7+ minutes.
Yeah, and you look ahead, and we talked about it earlier. You look at their schedule, and it is the SEC, so it's not like it's a shock to us when you mention it, but it's Texas, Tennessee, Alabama, Vanderbilt, and Arkansas.
Yeah, what a stretch.
In that next 5. Now, does it compare to playing the Arizonas, Michigans, Purdue's, all that in the non-conference? Probably not, but that is a tough gauntlet lying ahead for this Auburn team.
It is, and I think Auburn, if they don't play hard with that energy, they could go 0-3 in that stretch. I don't think they will, but they could. That's just who they are right now. At Tennessee, we know that's a really tough place. Auburn struggled there. Sometimes they go there and score 40-something points. It's just tough sometimes. And then that Alabama game, Auburn gets a week off to prepare, but I believe that's 2 days after the scheduled hearing for Bediako, right? So there's going to be so much stuff happening that week, right? That not outside of the actual basketball game, that'll be really interesting to watch too, with those two in-state rivals, getting ready to meet once again. So it should be a fun couple of weeks, I think, just covering Auburn basketball.
It should be, no doubt about it. And how has that been? Because again, you cover Auburn, and Stephen Pearl said it's a slippery slope. How is that the Bediako who's been received in Auburn? And
I think Pearl has said similar stuff to most coaches out there. I think most of them are pushing back against it and blah, blah, blah about the rules. I think Auburn fans are having fun with it, with, finding out about the judge and his ties and all that stuff. It's just typical internet Auburn, Alabama stuff that goes back and forth since, Auburn, Alabama were invented, right?
Yeah.
But it is what it is. You know, my feeling on anything to do with rules in this Wild West era of college sports, with the inability for the NCAA or the CSC or anybody to enforce their rules, or for those rules not to be challenged in court, I think every school should do whatever it takes to push the boundaries, to win, to help their teams get better. So I'm not in the Alabama is the worst thing ever, and they should be, smited over this move. We'll see what happens. I think there have been at least one other very similar case that the NCAA, I guess, won. Maybe I don't know if that's correct. I don't cover Alabama, but it is going to be interesting to see what happens moving forward there.
Yeah, and I even said this, and I meant it, because I thought, and you may be able to correct me, I thought he had another year that he could have petitioned for, but if Auburn brought back Austin Wiley, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
I think he's probably out of his clock, but what is a clock now? What is a rule? What is an eligibility rule? Who knows, right?
Yeah. He had injury issues, and then I do remember that he did enroll, like he basically in effect skipped his last year of high school,
right?
And then
came
to Auburn.
year. Yeah, he sure did. So.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it's just until the NCAA sits down with players and collectively bargains, we're going to continue to have things that pop up where the boundaries are pushed, where rules are broken, or changed, or the court rules in favor of a school or a player and overturn some rules. So this is just how it is. This is part of college sports right now.
Bryan Mathews, kind enough to join us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, as well as WZZN TV on our YouTube channel. And Bryan, obviously, if you're in Auburn, that means you didn't go to the Senior Bowl. Alex Golish spending some time in Mobile this week.
Yes, I believe tomorrow he will be there for practice. So we'll probably have some folks down there for that to speak with him briefly. But yes, he is, a lot of work in the portal, 39 incoming players so far. Yeah. They may be about done, but I never want to say an absolute when it comes to portaling or recruiting. And then, of course, also in a period where you go out and visit a lot of top targets around the South and around the state. So he's been out doing that, and his coaching staff too. So there is no rest time right now for if you're a college coach. You're going full bore recruiting, portaling, and now back to recruiting.
And speaking of that, you have a piece up. Where do you think Auburn's quarterback room sits? I would think that it's improved. I mean, because first of all, Hugh Freeze didn't coach it very well.
Yeah.
Let's not misunderstand something like that. But I would think with the production that has now been transferred into the room, especially from USF with Byron Brown, that it's in a better spot right now heading into spring practice.
Yeah, clearly. And Byron Brown's a really talented quarterback. He's also coming with the coach.
Yeah.
So he knows the system. He also got his receivers, a running back and a tight end and a center from USF. So he's in the perfect position to really, really succeed here at Auburn. So, I think it's a definite upgrade as far as the starter goes. And, they've got some competition behind them, 2 redshirt freshmen and a true freshman. We'll see how those guys develop. None of those guys certainly coming in with the ranking or the, anticipation of a good night.
Yeah.
Sure. But, we'll see. Quarterback is a position. Sometimes it's really hard to develop. You never know when a guy's going to step up and become a really, really good player.
Wow. 39 portal guys. I mean, that's that number just, I mean, I know they had to go get that many because they lost a bunch, but every time you just hear that number, it just sounds 39.
Yeah. 17 offensive linemen total on the team, 7 tight ends. So they have really, there's going to be some serious competition this spring for spots. I think Auburn is now over 90 total quote unquote scholarship players. I don't know if there's such a thing as a walk on, but we'll call them that still, which is amazing. If you go back, 5, 6, 7 years, a lot of teams would go into spring with 50, 55 players. That was pretty normal. So, or sometimes less, if you had injuries or some issues, but 90 plus players for spring is crazy to me.
Well, and now that most schools in Auburn's position are fully funding it, there's that 105 number. which used to be that way. But what it used to be is 85 on scholarship and maybe 20 walk-ons. Now the way they phrase it is it's maybe 20 guys on athletic scholarship, but very little, if any, NIL.
Right. So I don't know exactly how it's distributed, but yeah, there aren't necessarily walk-ons anymore. But
right,
it's pretty wild to think the roster size and how many players you have. We were trending toward getting rid of spring games, right?
Yeah.
Because the spring portal coaches were worried about other schools scouting their players and taking them, and now that's been eliminated. Maybe not, depending on what the courts do, right? If it's challenged, but for now it's eliminated. And you've got these used rosters, so now people are going back to a more traditional spring practice and spring games.
Yeah, and that'll make people that have been in your type business, you've been doing this for almost 25 years, not to age both of us. I mean, I've been doing my job for a decade, but now it makes you guys' coverage of spring practice even more interesting.
Yes, I mean, a lot of times you would have the big competitions stretching into fall practice, right? And we still have that, but a lot of stuff can be, settled in the spring because you've got basically your whole team minus a couple of signees, that'll come in May that'll be here. And so, yes, we'll have a good idea for a lot of positions, how it's going to work out and who to expect to be in what spots. It's going to be an exciting spring. 15 practices gets underway here next month.
Mm-hmm, it certainly does. And I know auburnsports.com will be all over that.
Yep.
And they'll be all over the covers of Texas early, tomorrow as Auburn. And really the feel of that game has completely changed now with Auburn showing their potential and what they are trying to become with this rout of Florida or solid whipping of the Gators. It's got to have maybe the fan base reinvigorated, I would think, Brian.
I would imagine that Neville Arena will be very loud and very packed. It usually is anyway, but more so, I think people are excited more about basketball now. I think there's a little concern, going into last week, especially with the record and having two consecutive road games. But coming out of that now with 2 wins, there's going to be a ton of support, and that place is going to be really hopping tomorrow night.
No doubt. Well, Brian, we always appreciate you joining us via the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline and WZN TV. Let everybody know how to follow you and what you guys have coming up on Auburn Sports.
Appreciate it. We got baseball starting 2 weeks from Friday. Plenty coverage there. We got basketball. We got hooping. We got recruiting. We got portaling. We got footballing. You name it. We got it all. auburnsports.com. You can check it out there. Sign up online for a free trial, or you can follow me on Twitter /X at BMATAU.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Brian.
Appreciate y'all.
Good to see Brian. Let's get a break in, shall we? 256-576-4977, Talking Ball.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Isn't the story of the prodigal son an amazing story? Basically, a rowdy boy who literally wished his father dead, ran away, and consumed his wealth with hard and fast living. Yet the father looked for his return every day, and when the boy got tired of eating pig slop, he decided to return. What did the father do? As soon as he saw that boy, he ran to him, threw his arms around him, and killed the fatted calf for a great celebration. Hey, I'm John Dees, pastor of the Cross Point Church. If you're looking for a church home, come see us, smack dab across the street from the YMCA in Madison.
4-time Grammy-nominated Joe Bonamassa, hailed as one of the world's greatest guitar players. Blues rock titan Joe Bonamassa, performing live March 19th at the BBC Mark C. Smith Concert Hall. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Joe Bonamassa. Every show is a new experience.
Tom Abraham here for my friends at All About Water. Crazy name, huh? Well, let me introduce you to them. All About Water is the top pond builder anywhere in the Tennessee Valley, and that includes remodeling or cleaning out existing ponds as well. They also have monthly maintenance plans for your pond. Don't have a pond? Well, how about a fountain or water feature for your property to bring that soothing sound of running water to your happy place? On the other hand, maybe you have water on your property that you don't want. Well, Ryan at All About Water is all about water, so he could take care of that as well. He has a background in fluid dynamics, and what that means is that he could take care of any water issue that you have. Finally, how about that irrigation system that you have or that you want? Well, they do installs and maintenance and repairs on those as well, because they are all about water. Learn more at allaboutwaterllc.com. That's allaboutwaterllc.com.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Want to save some money?
I can take money and I can make it into more money.
Just check out our zone deals online at 977ESPN.com. We are 977 ESPN The Zone.
$9:22 on a Tuesday morning. One quick scheduling note. Alabama A&M men's basketball was supposed to play Prairie View A&M yesterday.
On the road or here?
On the road.
Oh, yeah, because Texas has been getting smacked.
Yeah, that did not happen.
Gotcha.
They're going to play today at 1 p.m.
At 1 o'clock.
At 1 o'clock.
Wow.
Just in case you follow Alabama A&M basketball, they will play this afternoon at 1 o'clock.
At 1 this afternoon.
Yep.
Coming. Yeah, I mean, because like when I was watching that Texas Tech high level game against Houston, it was like 22 degrees and the weather was horrible outside.
Yep. All right. So I tell you what, there's been a lot of angst. I'm going to use that word. According in regards to the Alabama High School Athletic Association reclassification, public-private split. Been a lot of talk about it. A lot of coaches speaking out about it. Some speaking out saying, okay, it's okay. Some saying they're not in favor of it.
I'm not.
Yeah. But there's a lot to delve into. A lot more than what we just talked about. Let's get a break in, because when we come back, Ben Thomas will join us. Ben Thomas from AL.com was in Montgomery on Friday, the forefront there with AL.com. He'll join us and fill us in on a lot of gaps that you need to know when it comes to this public-private split in the schools.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Your Fox 54 weather.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Another incredibly cold night across North Alabama, Southern Middle Tennessee. We're dropping into the upper teens and lower 20s. A partly sunny sky for your Wednesday. Temperatures climbing into the upper 30s, lower 40s. Bear in mind that we should be climbing into the lower 50s this time of year. Dropping into the lower 20s Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. Much the same Thursday afternoon. A partly sunny sky, highs in the low 40s.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
There are only about 4,300 publicly traded companies on the U.S. stock exchange, but there are an estimated 33 million companies in the U.S. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. The average investor is missing out on over 99% of the investment opportunity that's happening in this beautiful country until now. True portfolio strength is found beyond the confines of the S&P 500, investing in promising companies before they go public. private real estate, infrastructure, world-changing technologies. This is called the endowment model. The endowment model has historically outperformed the traditional model of just stocks and bonds. If you're an accredited investor and want more from your investments, it's time to think beyond just stocks and bonds. Call Trajan today, 256-202-4200. That's 256-202-4200.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. See website for details.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list and maybe a little scary, but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188. And you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than is performed by other lawyers.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Weekdays from 5 to 7 p.m. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I guess you could say that's the feeling of some college or high school coaches in the area. Some, I'm all right, don't need to worry about me. And there's a lot of them that we need to check in on and worry about because a lot of them have voiced their frustration. Some have voiced their approval in regards to what the Alabama High School Athletic Association did on Friday.
Yeah, it was really altered and changed the landscape. It's probably the biggest move since we went to 7 classifications, and even bigger in some ways because of the way it affected the private schools and the way they compete for state championships.
Yeah.
But our next guest is one of the leaders in covering high school athletics in our state. He works for the Alabama Media Group, AL.com. He's based out of Mobile, but he wears a lot of different hats, and he was there in Montgomery for this groundbreaking press conference at the end of last week. We were going to go to him on Monday, but as we already said, our show is postponed due to weather. But in many ways, things continue to unfold, and there's a big meeting coming up on Friday with the private schools, and we're going to talk about all these issues right now with Ben Thomas of AL.com. It's great to have Ben back on the show. Ben, welcome back to Talkin' Ball in Huntsville with Drew and Scott. It's always great to catch up with you. I hope you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. How are you?
Hey, guys. Yeah, the hat I'm wearing today is like a toboggan because it's even cold down here on the Gulf Coast. It's
right.
I think it was 23 when I woke up.
Wow.
Y'all probably colder than that. So
Yeah.
we're trying to stay warm, but doing great. Good to be with you guys today.
Well, Ben, a lot to ride on from Friday. First, just your reaction to the announcement of the public and private school split.
Yeah, and before you say something, too, your colleague Thomas Ashworth was on with us, and he was previewing it for us before the press conference, and he kind of hinted to us in the last 48 hours things had started to shift, and then to expect something to happen with the private schools, and it wouldn't be status quo.
Well, we were right about that, weren't we? Yeah, I mean, I kind of went back and forth. I mean, my first signal that something big may change was, I guess, in October when, after the Choose Act stuff kind of erupted and the governor and the Speaker of the House sued the association, then Heath Harmon, the executive director, had that big meeting with all the independent or private schools, 58 of them in Montgomery. And that was the red flag to me, that something maybe coming down the pipe. But I still kind of went back and forth, for the last couple of months thinking, and I guess in my mind I was thinking, I just don't see how they can make all the arrangements to do this in 2 years, starting in the fall, in that short a time. So, I was kind of 50-50, but, middle to late last week, I was starting to hear stuff that, yeah, we think there is going to be a change. But it was still kind of, it's kind of still shocking. I mean, I think this is, you mentioned 7A, Drew, when we went there in 2014. This was even bigger than that, because you're separating. Now you're going to have 8 tackle football championship games, in addition to the 4 flag football championship games. And obviously this decision was much more controversial than going to 7A was. I mean, that was just a matter of, the bigger schools, bigger 32 schools moving up to a different classification. This decision, much more controversial all around.
Well, Ben, just for our listeners, then just kind of take us through then how this will unfold.
Well, we're still learning a lot about that, Scott. They haven't finalized details for like the playoffs, and they haven't even announced the winter and spring reclassifications. They can do that now. It used to be in the past we did that after each sports semester was over, but now, since private schools are going to be separated, there's no longer the multiplier competitive balance. You're just going by enrollment. So they will likely announce that, the winter and spring areas, regions, whatever they are, maybe at the next board meeting in February. But, so, I mean, the general consensus is, the basis is, let's take football and volleyball. The private schools will play in 2 separate divisions in championship play. I made the mistake, Drew, of asking Mr. Harmon something about separating, and he quickly corrected me and said, no, we're not separating. We are, what did he say? Restructuring the championship pathways. That sounded like separation to me, but whatever. Yeah. But, I guess the positive is they can still, they can still play public schools during the regular season. And hopefully the public schools will still play the private schools. I think that was a big question Terry Curtis had, the president of the board, who voted was one of 2 no votes for this, was, will the public schools still play the private schools even though they can? And if they can't, what are the private schools even gaining from being in the association? But there's early indications are that's going to happen. I saw that West Morgan released their schedule already last week, and they had Madison Academy on there. So hopefully they'll continue to play. The question we got to answer now is, all right, what does the private school playoffs look like? We don't know that. And let's take that upper school football division. You only have 16 teams in it, broken down into 2 8-team regions. Are all of them going to be in the playoffs? Are 8 of them going to be in the playoffs? How's that going to work? And the same for the lower class private schools, even though there's more teams there.
Well, in this meeting coming up on Friday, could there be anything come out of it where where the AHSAA could alter their plans or continue to evolve? I mean, or is this going to be totally separate from the AHSAA? Are these private schools maybe trying to come up with a plan of their own, I guess is the best way for me to put it.
Well, I think I've talked to some of the heads of schools that are going to be at that meeting, and mostly what I've heard is they want to see if they can get together and come out with a common idea of where to go next. Politically it's split too. I mean, obviously you've seen the remarks Lieutenant Governor has made online, which he seems to be pushing for something major to happen. I don't think it's a good idea. I talked to the Bayside Academy head of school yesterday, and he said, look, we haven't talked about leaving the association. We haven't talked about any lawsuits. That's not to say any of that won't happen, but that's not something that has been talked about. I hope they don't decide to do that. I hope they at least give it a shot, because if you leave the association, then you can't play the public schools.
Right. That's a huge point. Right.
And that's only one of them. I mean, you wouldn't be included in like the Bryant Jordan and the other thing. I mean, there's still a lot of benefit for being in the Alabama High School Athletic Association. So we'll see. I plan to be there on Friday. They've already told me they won't let me in the meeting, Drew, but maybe I can pander outside and get some comments when they come out. But hopefully they won't be pushed politically into a stance that they really don't want to take. I guess that's the best way to frame it. and that they'll decide to whatever they think is the best idea and how they want to react is fine. But I didn't want to see that. I just tell you guys, I was not a fan of this. I have a son in private school. I wanted them to stay unified.
I did too.
At the same time, this is where we are now. So, let's maybe give it a shot and see what happens. See, by fall or by next year at this time, we may think, boy, that was a great idea, and we didn't see it coming. That's not my idea right now, but could be maybe.
Ben Thomas joining us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, AL.com. Ben, kind of this Choose Act is something that people, I think, are waking up to, kind of scratching their heads saying, well, what is the Choose Act?
Yeah, you might need to get a political guy on there to get all the right answers there.
Right.
But basically, the Choose Act was something the governor wanted passed in 2024. It gives families, I think, a $7,000 credit to transfer to a private school.
Mm-hmm.
And the big argument was, just I'm kind of trying to generalize it as
that's
much as
good.
I can, is that the AHSAA counted that as financial aid, and under their rules, long-standing rules, if you accept financial aid to go to another school, you need to sit out a year of athletics. The governor didn't think that should be the case. For the Choose Act, she thought that was punishment, so they sued the association, got a temporary injunction, much like the Charles Bediaco case. Boy, it seems like if you guys and I ever need a temporary injunction, we ought to just go for it, because I don't think any of those have ever been denied. It doesn't seem, but anyway, so they got that was granted, and so that's kind of been the genesis of all this, and then the private schools kind of picked that time to have this meeting and kind of say, well, what about competitive balance for everybody? And what about getting rid of the multiplier? And I think the AHSA's answer to that was, well, okay, we can put you in your own grouping, and you won't have to worry about the multiplier or competitive balance. It's all, I will say this. I wrote in my column on Friday, and I honestly believe we would not be here today without the government interfering in high school athletics like they did in the fall. I mean, just, take it for what you will, but were it not for all that, I think we would still all be together. And and honestly, what frustrates me about that is a lot of times it doesn't even seem like they know exactly what they're talking about. I mean, Lieutenant Governor Ainsworth tweeted out that the football coaches that made this decision, well, there aren't many football coaches on the central board. There's a retired one, Terry Curtis, and another one, but a lot of them are superintendents and administrators. So I just feel like, if the government wants to get involved, they need to know all the aspects of it before they jump into it.
We're talking to Ben Thomas, AL.com. Now, Ben, I will say, watching some of that press conference and rewatching it with Heath Harmon, but this agreement that they've come, or this ruling they've decided on with the private schools and splitting them into two different classifications and separating them from a playoff standpoint from the public, this is almost just like a 2-year trial window, though, isn't it? If they could revisit this in 2 years.
Yeah, they reclassified for as long as I don't know if it's as long as I've been alive, but they reclassify every 2 years for a long time based on enrollment as schools grow or decline or whatever. So they will definitely reclassify in 2 years. Now, whether they revisit this exact thing, they certainly can. And he did mention that this is a 2-year deal. Seems like to me, once you kind of take that Band-Aid off, I don't know if you're going to put it back on. But again, we're not, you and I, you said you weren't for it. I'm not for it. But we're not the only ones doing it either. I mean, a lot of states around us have already tried this model.
And this may work, like Scott said.
It may.
Yeah.
Some successfully and some not successfully, probably. But yes, he did mention that, in 2 years, if we think differently, we can try something different. But it was pretty resounding to me that the vote was 13-2. Only Terry Curtis and Jerome Woods, the two District 1 representatives, were the only ones to vote against it.
Ben, you've had the pulse on, then a lot of coaches in the state. What has been the reaction when you reach out to them? Well, what has been some of the coaches' reactions to this split?
It's an interesting question, Scott, because we've done a lot of polls leading up to it.
Yeah.
I've talked to a lot of people. We had the Mr. Football banquet last Tuesday in Montgomery, and that's the only thing anybody wanted to talk about. Everybody was coming up to me, "What have you heard?" And I was going up to everybody and say, "What have you heard?" So it's interesting if you look at the lieutenant governor's tweets over the last couple of days. He seems to be getting hammered from the general public on his stance about it, and his stance obviously has been it's unfair, yada yada yada. Most of the coaches I've talked to, the polls we did showed we did an anonymous coaches poll and we also did a reader poll, and they were about the same. About 45% or so showed that everybody wanted to stay unified, and somewhere in the 30s showed that they thought they ought to separate. So it's been a divisive issue for a long time in the state. We were able to put it off for a while with the 1.35 multiplier, and then when we added competitive balance, and I really think those things helped equal the playing field. And I also think, as a lot of the private schools have pointed out, it's not really the bigger issue is not really a private versus public issue. It's a have and have not issue, because a lot of these bigger city schools have just as many advantages or more than the private schools do now. So that, in my mind, is the bigger issue. And a state like Louisiana, you choose to be in the select group or the non-select group, and basically, if students can choose to go to your school, you're in the select group. So that may be a model we go to in the future. I think they'll continue to see what's best. I like what Heath Harmon's done so far. Like I said, I'm not a fan of this issue, but I understand why he made that decision, why he made that. And he didn't make the decision. He recommended the decision to the central board who made the decision. But I know there's political pressure. But we'll see what we do going forward if they make any changes.
Well, and another one, and they'll be part of this meeting, I believe, on Friday that you'll be, outside trying to get reaction. But it also begs the question: what is the future of the AISA, and could they eventually be absorbed by the private schools in Alabama and the AHSAA?
It's possible. Yeah, Michael McClendon, the executive director of the AISA, confirmed to me yesterday that he was going to be at the meeting. He basically said this time it was just a support role. The AISA school, there's not many schools in it left in it, Drew. I think there's like 26 that play tackle football or something like that. They had an 8-man league this year. A lot of those schools have already moved over to the AHSAA. A lot of the more successful schools like Glenwood and Tuscaloosa Academy and schools like that have been successful in the AISA before. So, if they were to break off, I'm sure they could come to some agreement with the AISA that would help a little bit with the smaller schools and travel. But again, do you want to do that and not be able to play the public schools? And don't just think about football in that situation. Think about going to softball tournaments and volleyball tournaments and stuff like that. I mean, I know I'm guilty of getting focused on just how it affects football, but you think about the other sports too, and not being able to play the public schools, and especially in all those spring sports, baseball and softball and soccer, that'd be really a big change.
Well, and I know you've talked to Heath Harmon. My last question would be, is there any thought, I guess, and I didn't phrase it as with the way I probably should have, with the AISA eventually maybe joining the AHSAA and being absorbed, or is that too far-fetched right now?
No, I think we were close to that, when Coach Savarese was executive director, and it just didn't happen for whatever reason. So, I don't think that's out of the question, especially as more and more of those teams move into the AHSAA. They would just have to, the AHSAA's rules are a little different, a little stricter as far as recruiting and that type thing than the AISA's are. I don't think the AISA's have school zones or whatever.
Right.
So you would have to make those changes, but it's not far-fetched. I mean, it could happen. And we'll see. The other interesting question, I know you guys got to go, is, we're having the Super 7 or whatever we're going to call it, the Grade 8 or whatever in Mobile for the first time in December, and they've already announced they're transitioning from 3 days to 4 days at that event, and that was made largely because they don't have the auxiliary locker rooms that you need for that middle game, and so they were going to play 2 games a day. So now you got eight. If everything stays the same, we got 8 tackle football games and 4 flag football games to get in a period of 4 days. So it'll be intriguing to see how they work out that schedule moving forward. It'll be a great event at Hancock Whitney. If you guys haven't been there, it's a great size stadium for this event. I'm excited to see it, but the new schedule will present some interesting challenges.
Well, always great stuff from Ben Thomas. Ben, let everybody know how to follow you. We know you'll have full coverage of that meeting coming up Friday, and, of course, the ever-changing landscape. We always appreciate the intel. You do a great job. Let everybody know how to follow you.
Sure, guys. Glad to be with you. Just Ben Thomas Preps on the Twitter or the X, and just go to AL.com. You can get to the high school sports section, and plenty of coverage of that and basketball and everything else going on. We got basketball playoffs starting, next week? So,
yeah, unbelievable already. Yeah.
That'll be a big talk, too. But thank you guys for having me. God bless. Y'all stay warm up there.
Yes, sir.
Thanks,
you do
Ben.
the same, Ben. Thank you.
All right, let's get a break in. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at the service department at Woody Anderson Ford. When you need service on your vehicle, whether it's a Ford or any other make, you want to get into Woody Anderson Ford, where their expert service technicians will get it diagnosed and repaired right away, the right way. And while you are there, check out all the new and pre-owned vehicles at Woody Anderson as well. They are ready to make you the best deal possible. Visit Woody Anderson Ford today.
Woody Anderson Ford on Jordan Lane in Huntsville, Hughes Road in Madison, and online at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com. When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSB.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
It's softball time in Alabama, and the best place for your travel softball team to play is with USSSA. Not only for the best travel team tournaments, but recreational tournaments as well for your high school level softball team. Plus, Alabama softball will host the USSSA National Championship this year at the Gulf Shore and Orange Beach and the Foley Softball Complex. For more information, visit alfastpitch.usssa.com. Check out the schedule at alfastpitch.usssa.com.
This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
I'm on my way from misery to happiness today.
9:49, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We got someone on the phone lines.
Yeah.
Have you seen this one? All they're saying is it's Drew's ex account.
X account.
Oh. You see that?
I see it. What's up? Who's on the phone?
Good morning. It's Drew's ex account.
Ah, there you go. I wish I had it.
He still doesn't have it back.
Nah, don't. What's up,
you
bud?
can also call you can also call me Alibaba.
Oh, okay.
But
what's up?
I just wanted to chime in on the AHSAA deal.
Yeah, I got you.
I don't see, we're all about benefiting student athletes, and this doesn't benefit student athletes. For one, you just create another trophy and more financial incentives for the AHSA. And then two, you're talking about the areas and regions.
The travel.
Again,
Yeah.
exactly. But again,
Right.
we're all about the students here.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I don't agree. I wanted it to stay not status quo. You could have tweaked some things, but I didn't want the separation. I didn't think it was necessary.
When it comes down to it, I think we've got to update our times. I mean, what's the problem with just take Huntsville, for example. Right. If somebody wants to go to school at Huntsville High, they can go to Huntsville. If somebody wants to go to Grissom, I think they need that freedom of movement to an extent. I don't know. It's just I don't agree. It's just like we've caved into the political pressure of the private schools. We don't need to play them. I don't know. It's just frustrating.
Yeah,
totally agree.
What I would have gotten rid of is the competitive balance. I never thought that made sense.
No,
I said that. I mean, to me, it made no sense to have an athletic department where three of your programs could be playing in three different classifications. It makes no sense.
Because to me, the competitive balance punished future classes.
Yeah, and then it didn't make sense because if the boys program, I'm just talking about
no. Boys program had success.
Yeah, had success. Then the girls have to move up. Why?
Yes,
that makes no sense.
Right. And then you got programs like, I mean, we use them as an example, JP2, because of competitive balance and because you've won a few football games, and then your competitive balance and then the multiplier. Well, guess what? Now all of a sudden you're going to be playing 5A football.
And to our Drew's X account caller, I will say this too. I never thought it was for the players when they would make you sit out when you're going from public to private or private to public. I thought you should have just been able to have what you talked about, freedom of movement.
And it was, if you go from public to private, or if you go from public, to private, and if you're in the county and you go to a private school, you can play, but you can't do it inner city because you got to sit out.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, there's a lot of finger pointing, the good old Spider-Man meme, I guess.
Yeah.
But, I'll leave you guys with this, and then I'll hang up. This is the classic. To be the best, you got to beat the best, unless they're a private school.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I mean,
thanks for the phone call.
Thank you for the call, and thank you for the comments. And I don't disagree. I mean, I think there should be some more freedom of movement. I just think if you build it the right way, and I'll bring Huntsville High up, for example, like boys basketball. If you build it the right way, and because for a long time they had 9 coaches in 11 years, but if you hire the right guy and you build it, then you will get talent. You will have people wanting to be a part of things, just like Madison Academy when I was growing up.
Right.
They weren't very good. Then
right.
They build the new campus. You commit to facilities. You commit to hiring a great coach. And then people want to move in. People want to have their kids over there and be a part of it. That's just the way it is. It's about build it and they will come. And if you commit to something. And then we've had issues with the Huntsville City schools where I don't know, they're totally committed athletically in every way.
I think in some sports they look like they are totally committed.
Yep, agreed. And
but then there
like
is football where I don't
they're
think
just lagging behind.
No, I don't think Huntsville City Schools is fully committed to football. They say they are,
right?
And they want to show you that they are. But I don't think they're fully committed at all to city football. Not at all.
Not when you see the 5 schools that are competing and what their records are.
No.
And
I get it. They'll say, well, we gave them facilities. We give them a weight room. We give them coaches. We give them all the tools to be better.
Drive an hour and a half down the road and see.
Right. You give them the bare minimum tools to be acceptable.
That's correct.
You don't give them above and beyond what needs to be done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then a lot of these coaches then take it upon themselves to try to get better, try to do better. And for what? I don't know.
And then it's what our caller just said. You run into the politics of the whole situation.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, politics, we really have a spotlight on it now when it comes to politics and high school athletics here in the state. But here's the truth. It's always been there. It's always been there. 9:54. That was a Tuesday. We did it. We did a show. We did a show this week.
We did.
We're gonna go for 2 in a row tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just be careful because tomorrow's gonna be another cold one.
Yeah. I got to get some alcohol, man. I'm just totally out of it.
Start your car sooner.
And I don't mean to drink. Okay.
Well, just start your car sooner.
Well, it'll help me as well. I mean, it'll get me. It'll certainly help the frost process. I mean, I guess I should have got some yesterday, but I wasn't thinking, it'd be that severe.
All right, it's going to be another cold one tomorrow. Safe travels into work, into school tomorrow morning. We're back at it 7 a.m.